Chapter 347. The Black Dragon Necklace's 3D attribute was around 2000. It added 2000 attack and had 4 special effects. Special Effect 1, Dragon Slayer Knight. Damage to dragons increased by 30%. Special Effect 2, Enhanced Attack. Damage increased by 200%. Cooldown of 30 seconds. Special Effect 3, Land of Death. After active use, lose 20% of your max HP and lose 1% of your HP every second. At the same time, you will gain the status Land of Death. For every 1% of your HP lost, your attack speed will increase by 4%. Special Effect 4, Dragon Blood Boil. After active use, lose 80% of your current HP and gain the status Dragon Blood Boil. All damage increased by 80%. This status can coexist with Land of Death. Dragon Blood Boil said that the damage increased by 80%. This meant that it did not only refer to the attack power. For example, the 1 million poison attack would be increased to 1,800,000. Oh my god, this necklace is fierce, but it seems to be a self-damaging way of fighting. Lu Chen took a deep breath. He would often self-harm, especially that Dragon Blood Boil. It would reduce his current HP to 80%. Even if he had full HP, he would be in the red after using it. However, on second thought, Lu Chen did not seem to have anything to be afraid of. I have 2 lives. Using this skill is not very dangerous. Moreover, if I use a bow, the opponent will have a hard time hitting me. Forget it. This necklace is better than the previous one. I'll wear it first. As for the special effects, I can use the first 3. As for the last one, Dragon Blood Boil. I'll see how it goes. After killing the Abyssal Black Dragon, Lu Chen obtained the right to reset the Door of Life and Death. No, if it's reset, then I can't go to the Door of Life here. Many people had cleared the Door of Life. However, Lu Chen still wanted to try because he thought of a problem. If he cleared all the doors of life, would there be a special reward? Even if the reward was not as good as 100 doors of death, there should be some reward. Lu Chen fully displayed his greedy nature. Anyway, I'm just leveling up. I'll reset it after clearing the Door of Life. After saying that, Lu Chen started to clear the dungeon. The difficulty of the Life Gate was much lower than the Death Gate. Not only did it not have any restrictions, but it also had various buffs. Lu Chen only took 22 minutes to complete the first dungeon. Fuck, 22 minutes. Someone actually took less time than me. Lu Chen looked at the record of this door. Someone had cleared it in a little over 17 minutes. It was hard to imagine that someone was stronger than the current Lu Chen. Right, could it be because of the increased difficulty of the game? Forget it, my goal is to clear all the life gates. I don't need to break the record. There were 100 dungeons in the 99 gates of life and death. Even if he cleared 2 dungeons in an hour, it would still take him 50 hours. There are another 100 doors waiting for Lu Chen. This was definitely a huge project. Looks like we'll have to stay in this dungeon for a while. 4 days later, Lu Chen finally reset the dungeon and entered the Door of 99 Deaths. After clearing 2 of the Death Gates here, Lu Chen discovered that the difficulty of the Death Gates here was much lower than the independent Death Gates from before. Although there were some debuffs and restrictions, as long as Lu Chen used his skills, it wouldn't be a problem. The only problem was that he really wanted to puke. I'm crazy. Although I got a lot of equipment, none of them are particularly good. How unlucky. I got a lot of materials. Forget it, I'll go back to the city and deal with my bag first. Then I'll see where I can get black crystal arrows. After saying that, Lu Chen temporarily left the dungeon and headed to Freedom City. Ling Tian and the others had no intention of taking back the main city. He didn't know if they had really given up or if they were just waiting for revenge. Lu Chen didn't care about them. After returning to the city, he put all the materials in his bag into the city's warehouse. The warehouse is so big. It feels good to be the only one using it. Lu Chen smiled. The number of players in Freedom City now seemed to be less than before. From the few players on the street, Lu Chen found out the reason. Although he had removed the unreasonable rules here, after he defeated the Holy Gate, it also meant that the largest guild in the level 60 map had disbanded. Today, the game's difficulty had multiplied. The original Holy Gate members had lost their support and were once again divided into small teams. They had no choice but to return to the various novice villages. In fact, the disbandment of the Holy Gate had led to the biggest wave of players returning to the novice villages. Damn it, what have I done? Lu Chen was extremely depressed. City Lord, although many people are scolding you now, you don't have to be discouraged. A passerby said to Lu Chen, this isn't your problem at all. It's that goddamn solipsistic's fault. I really want to kill that guy. Lu Chen's expression was a little stiff. Now, all the players in the server are gathering to fight him. Another passerby heard someone scolding solipsistic and immediately came over. As long as they scolded solipsistic, they would be friends. More and more people gathered around. Isn't that right? This is the first time I've encountered a situation where everyone in the server hates one person at the same time. This is the galaxy server, it means that the entire galaxy is hunting him down. Now the bounty has reached 6 million, and it's still rising. Let me tell you, everyone is united now. The game is so difficult, who has spare money? Even so, there are still many people who insist on increasing the amount of money raised every day. Really? That's how it should be. Passerby suddenly became excited. As long as each of us can fork out 1 gold coin a day, with more people and time, we'll definitely be able to get those super strong players to help us. Yes, we should start a campaign. Let's call it 1 gold coin a day for everyone. City Lord, you should participate too. If it wasn't for him, your Freedom City would definitely be overcrowded. Facing the enthusiastic invitation, Lu Chen was already heartbroken. Why change his character? He probably wouldn't be able to turn over a new leaf in this lifetime. Good luck. Lu Chen's heart was bleeding, but he squeezed out a smile and encouraged everyone to continue raising the bounty for him. My life is too difficult. Quickly leaving this place, Lu Chen ran to the weapons and consumables merchant. Flying feather arrow, gale arrow, black steel arrow, black steel arrow. Damn, just one more word. Lu Chen only found the arrow he was looking for when he flipped to the last page. Damn, 1 gold coin per arrow. Lu Chen almost broke down. Boss, you're robbing me. These were arrows, who knew how many would be used in a single battle. This price was definitely sky high. Hee, City Lord, don't you have 4 million in your backpack? You're not willing to spend such a small amount of money. The shop owner could see the amount in Lu Chen's backpack and smiled evilly. A player who was looking at the arrows beside him was so shocked that his face turned pale. He turned his head and looked at Lu Chen in disbelief. 4 million. What a tycoon. The Holy Gate hated Lu Chen to the core, but in the end, they only raised the bounty to 2 million. The entire server's players had raised 6 million, but this guy alone had 4 million. Chapter 348. Lu Chen shook his head. Even if he had money, this was not the way to spend it. Boss, do you know where there is a cheaper one? If you are a 6-star blacksmith, you can forge it yourself. But how many 6-star blacksmiths are there? If you want to use black crystal arrows, you should buy them from me. Lu Chen did not want to be cheated by this merchant, so he said, forget it, I will go to the crafting master's place to take a look. Lu Chen arrived at the blacksmith profession. He looked at the material requirements. He had a large stock of materials for the black crystal arrow. Lu Chen calculated the cost. In fact, it was only a few dozen silvers, but the grocer had increased the price by more than 10 times. That way, even if I don't have enough materials, I can collect some materials and refine them myself. I can save a lot of money. More importantly, I can resupply myself in the wild. Then I'd better level up to 6 star. Otherwise, I really can't afford to use the black crystal arrows. Damn, I used to think that gold coins were useless. Now that I think about it, I really regret it. I should have bet more with them. Lu Chen began to strengthen the equipment in his hands. He was still lacking a bit of proficiency, so Lu Chen continued to forge the black iron cloud-piercing arrows and other miscellaneous items. In any case, he had never sold the materials he had obtained from the second heaven. It was enough for him to level up to 6 stars. He believed that he could resell the equipment and arrows, so he wouldn't make a loss. After refining for more than an hour, Lu Chen finally reached the level of a 6-star blacksmith. He started to refine the black crystal arrow. Let's collect some materials while we're refining. Lu Chen bought a booming cauldron and shouted at the Free City's map. 70 silver taels for unlimited black dragon scale and 70 silver taels for black dragon crystal iron. Interested parties, please trade at the weapon refiner's booth in the Free City. Lu Chen's price was twice as high as what the players sold to the shops, but it was still 30 to 40% lower than the usual purchase price. However, the problem was that right now, players were in dire need of money. Money was not spared, and monsters were not easy to kill. It was a vicious cycle. As soon as this news came out, it immediately attracted a large number of players. The price is quite fair. I have 60 sets of dragon scales and 25 sets of crystal iron. They can be sold for 6 gold coins. That's great. I have 100 of them here. That's 7 gold coins. Awesome. Finally, I have some income. Damn it, I've never been so poor in the first heaven. That's right. I'm almost bankrupt now. Lu Chen's stall was right there, and players could directly trade with him. He only needed to mind his own business and craft equipment. Before he knew it, it was already night time. The 140,000 gold coins that Lu Chen had given him had all been spent. After this batch of black crystal arrows, Lu Chen had refined 1,300,000 black crystal arrows. Miraculously, after crafting 130 black crystal arrows, Lu Chen's profession level stopped at 6 star 5%. From the looks of it, refining a certain type of item had a restriction on the advancement of one's profession. It's so difficult to rise from 6 star to 7 star. Actually, Lu Chen was not in a hurry to level up his job class. He had already achieved his objective for this trip. Now, he could return and continue grinding the door of life and death. This would probably take at least 4 days. However, when Lu Chen was engrossed in the game until the second day, something big happened. Today was a super important day for the players on Earth. At 7:40 in the morning, the number of online players in the Jiutian server had broken through the shocking 3 billion mark. There was only one reason for this. Today, the second heaven of Jiutian was officially opened. It was said that it would be a world filled with gold. It was said that the monsters there could drop orange equipment. It was said that there would be an even more vast and majestic world structure there. After a boring month of double farming, the players were already filled with anticipation for the new world that was about to arrive. Mad Demon 2. He only left a sentence on the forum. He didn't even say much about what the second heaven was like. Sigh, he just likes to be alone. But it's strange. Brother Nameless seems to have disappeared from the face of the earth during this time. Let's not care about them. We can enter the second heaven now. Ha, I'm now of 5 gods. I'll definitely look down on everyone in the second heaven. You're finally here. After a month of grinding, I'm about to puke. This is great. Hee, the second heaven, prepare to receive the anger of all the players. There were still 10 minutes until the second heaven opened. In the southern military region, an old man was on the phone with Li Muhua. "Sir, we're ready. After a month of grinding day and night, the Predator's equipment level disadvantage has already caught up. Moreover, we have a divine beast. At least in the second celestial layer, we won't lose to the other military forces." "But sir, did the people over there release any news about the second heaven?" The old man frowned slightly. "No. Currently, the staff of Heavenly Guild are not qualified to come into contact with the second heaven." "Oh right, what did Lu Qin say?" I asked him. This time, he was a little hesitant. "I don't know if it's just my imagination, but I feel like he has a guilty conscience." "Guilty conscience?" The old man frowned slightly. "Why would that guy have a guilty conscience? Did he do something to betray the military? Who knows? Anyway, we'll know when we reach the second heaven." In the Mad Waves Guild, the guild members were very excited. "It's finally going to open. I'm dying of boredom." When we reach there, we'll kill a few hundred small monsters and see if they really drop orange equipment. I don't know where the guild master went. He hasn't appeared for so long. He didn't even come to the second heaven today. Do you know where he is?" Hua Xiang asked. Lu Yi frowned slightly. "I asked him a few times. He said he was farming dungeons. I don't know what dungeons in the first heaven are worth farming." "Oh, right. He also said that when we reach the second heaven, we should wait for him in the village and not leave the village." "Ah. If that's the case, what if Little Wild really drops orange equipment? Won't we fall behind?" 10 Step said worriedly. Leng Nuo thought for a while. If the guild master said that, he should have his reasons. Let's wait and see. Brother Handsome, Brother Chic, please inform the others that when Mad Waves reaches the second heaven, we won't make any moves. Ning Shuang was still looking around. That's strange. It's such a big day today, but Master didn't come. 3 billion players worldwide, including countless professional players and official teams, were all waiting for the last exciting moment. It was as if the curiosity that had been suppressed for a month was finally about to explode. At 8:00, a huge black hole appeared in front of the Tong Tian Tower. This black hole was at least 100 meters tall and tens of meters wide. The second heaven has been opened. Players, please enter from the entrance of the Tong Tian Tower in the Yellow Sand World. I wish everyone a pleasant gaming experience in the second heaven. In an instant, countless players poured into the door. It was a door that led to a whole new world of gold. Yay, the second heaven, we're finally here. Ha ha ha, Steel Core game. Sorry, we're no longer the same as before. We're the strongest. Let's go. Chapter 349. After a long wait, the second heaven finally opened. Countless players rushed to enter the new world. After entering the game, all the players on Earth were born in an area called Earth Village. This map was huge and countless players gathered there. The players collectively received a system message. You have entered the second heaven. We wish you a happy game. It's finally here. Some players were already crying tears of joy. After fighting for 200 days and nights, we've finally entered the second heaven. Look at the sky. It's even bluer than the first heaven. The air is so fresh. Stop talking nonsense. Let's go and snatch the wild beasts. They're dropping orange equipment. A large number of players rushed out of the Earth Village's protection area. They rode on various mounts and hunted for wild beasts. Quick, quick, quick. Our good days are coming. Let's go. There must be more opportunities in the second heaven. Maybe we'll get something big and surpass Mad Demon and Nameless. Time is life now. Let's go. Don't team up. Let's snatch as many wild beasts as possible. Quick. A young couple entered the dense forest outside the Earth Village. They both looked to be around 18 or 19 years old. The boy was tall and handsome while the girl looked frail. "Hubby, are you sure we don't want to team up? This is the second heaven." The girl followed closely behind the boy. The boy patted his chest. "What's there to be afraid of? Our equipment is already very strong. We can just kill wild beasts. It'll be a different story if we get orange equipment. Don't worry, honey. We're very strong now. I have more than 500,000 HP and high defense. You're also good at healing and poison. Don't be afraid." The girl looked at the boy with admiration. "Okay, I'm the safest with you around." After showing off their affection, the young couple continued to move deeper into the dense forest. After walking for a short distance, a loud noise came from behind them. Then, a 30-meter-tall behemoth appeared behind them. The two of them turned around at the same time. They were stunned when they saw a pair of blood-red eyes. The girl stared at the huge behemoth and said blankly, "Hubby, why is there such a big boss here? Did we encounter a wild boss? Damn, is this the boss of the second heaven? That's too scary." Such a big boss appeared in the beginner village. "Hubby, but its avatar doesn't show the boss avatar." The boy thought for a moment. That's right, boss avatars all had special logos. This one didn't have any boss logo. Right at this moment, that guy rushed towards the two of them. Its speed was extremely fast, and its huge body caused the ground to rumble. With a boom, the radiant moon werewolf slapped at him. As a melee fighter, the boy could only go up and yell, "Wifey, heal me." However, this slap was a critical hit, dealing 670,000 damage. Fuck. I was insta-killed. The boy screamed and returned to the novice village. The boy's HP bar disappeared instantly. The girl had been preparing for a long time, but she had lost her target. She looked at the huge monster in horror. It was already impossible to escape, but the damage just now was simply too exaggerated. The radiant moon werewolf wasn't the type to go easy on women. With another slap, he killed the 330,000 HP medicine master before swaggering off. Similar scenes were playing out endlessly outside the Earth Village. However, these were all small groups. Outside the Earth Village, a radiant moon werewolf was surrounded by hundreds of people. When they saw this radiant moon werewolf, the thirsty players were extremely excited. "Ha ha ha, a boss spawned. Come and kill the boss. It might drop dark gold. Fuck, what a huge boss. Hee hee, it's time to show our true strength. Quick hands get it, slow hands get it. Everyone, charge. Wipe out the second heaven." The radiant moon werewolf looked at these people expressionlessly. When it saw the player at the front, it waved its claw. -440,000, insta-killed. The group of players who were in charge hurriedly stopped, their bodies petrified. This is so strong. Why is there such a scary boss outside the novice village? Fuck, does this boss have to be so strong? Its attack is even higher than a sky domain boss. Boss my ass, it's not a boss at all. It doesn't even have an elite avatar. It's a small monster. Small monster. The group of people sized up this huge 30-meter tall creature again. Bro, are you sure it's a small monster? I don't think it's small at all. Fuck, this isn't a boss at all. I was insta-killed by this monster just now. There are all these monsters around here. It's terrifying. What? There are all these monsters. Fuck, that's impossible. Then what do we do? In hard mode, the radiant moon werewolf's attack had increased by more than 4 times. Werewolves had high attack to begin with, and in easy mode, they could deal almost 100,000 HP to Lu Chen. The players were either sent flying or killed instantly. They were utterly defeated in an instant. Seeing the boss kill indiscriminately, the players at the back retreated. In the end, they all turned around and ran. Fuck, it's killing us. Run. It insta-killed one player in one hit. What's there to fight? Run. Those in front, run faster. Are you crazy? Why are all these small monsters so fierce? Help, don't block the way. I want to return to the safe zone. The Radiant Moon Werewolf killed hundreds of players. Suddenly, it realized that the group of people who wanted to kill it had all run away. At 11:00 in the morning, the novice village was especially crowded. A group of people hid in the safe zone. The entire safe zone was filled with a strange emotion. Disappointment, depression, and some fear. A Caucasian man sat on the ground, his face full of grievance. With a sobbing tone, he said, "Didn't we say that we were here to pick up money? I even dropped my 5 Divine Martial bracers. I couldn't beat it even with the Divine Martial set. Now that my equipment is gone, how am I supposed to fight?" The surrounding players were also complaining. "I thought I was here to kill monsters. I didn't expect to be killed by monsters the moment I arrived. And insta-killed. Do you think I don't care about my reputation? Do you have any humanity left? Do you have any humanity left? Are these even small monsters? Are there any small monsters in games like this? Tianxing, come out. Find me a fucking game. You're not treating us players as humans at all. It's just a game. Do you have to torture us like this? How did we offend you, Tianxing? It wasn't easy for us to come here. We were originally happy, but now we've lost our equipment and can't leave the village. What's the point of playing this fucking level 2? Have a good game. Happy my *SS. I can't be happy now." At this moment, perhaps sensing the immense grievances of the players, the system made a notification. Current game difficulty, hard. Game difficulty upgrade record, June 11th, Lone Tyrant has represented all players in raising the game's difficulty from easy to normal. Monsters' attributes have been doubled, while players' attributes have been reduced by 15%. Higher drops have been unlocked, and dark gold equipment and above have been unlocked. June 18th, Solipsistic represented all players and raised the game difficulty from normal to hard. Wild Monsters' attributes doubled again, players' attributes decreased by 15%, higher drops unlocked, dark gold and above equipment unlocked, dark gold and above equipment unlocked. When the group saw these two notifications, their jaws dropped in shock. Mad Devil came a week earlier. What did he do? Chapter 350. Before the Earth players could finish lamenting, another piece of bad news came. This server is Galaxy Server District 19. A total of 700,000 players from the human world from various galaxies are competing here. Players of the Earth Village, please take note. In order to allow everyone to enjoy the fun of competing together, players of the Earth Village will have 2 days to develop. After 2 days, the Earth Village will be officially open to the public. At that time, players who entered this server in advance may come to plunder resources. Please be prepared. The terrifying Xiao Yi from before was already surprising enough. The news that came out in the end instantly caused an uproar in the Earth Village. What? Galaxy server? 700,000 players from the human world? Oh my god, am I seeing things? Did you guys receive the system announcement? Yes, we did. Is it really the Galaxy server? Other than us, there are other players joining? Are they aliens? Damn, are they playing with aliens? This is too exaggerated. The players felt that their worldview had been turned upside down. However, this was not the main point. The main point was the last sentence. They might come to plunder the Earth Village's resources. This made the Earth players nervous. Are they the same level as us? Didn't we open the second heaven in advance? Why did they enter the game at the same time as us? Don't tell me we're being tortured like dogs. What should we do? We can't even farm the small monsters now. How are we going to deal with those super strong players? Everyone, stop arguing. If this is true, then we can't just sit around and wait for death. You have to know that we represent Earth. That's right. The game is difficult. Let's not fight among the different servers. We must unite now. Guild alliances and official teams of each country, this is the time for you to step forward. Under the external and internal threats, the guild alliances and government organizations of each country finally began to sit down and discuss countermeasures together. An hour later, the guild alliances and military organizations of more than 200 countries held the First Earth Players Congress in the village. At this time, in the large level 2 newbie villages like the Dark Nether village, the players were also discussing the same thing. Come to think of it, the normal players should have entered the server today. It's time to plunder again. Hurry up, I'm going crazy from poverty. Right now, they should all be in the newbie village. They are currently under protection for 2 days. I've also looked at the data. This batch of players from 130,000 worlds will be opening the second heaven domain. Among them, the shortest preparation time is only double the time of 1 month. Their overall strength is quite weak. I've specifically checked. The players from the original world of Solipsistic are also coming over this time. It's a place called Earth. Their preparation time is the shortest of 1 month. Really? Fuck, then let's create a global village. After the First Earth Players Congress, it was decided that everyone had to give up on their internal conflicts and unite against the outside world. As for the Radiant Moon werewolves at the entrance of the village, they could no longer send them to their deaths one by one. With the original server as the unit, the military would take the lead and the guild alliance would cooperate fully to kill them. You must pay attention to the equipment that players drop when they die. Pick it up if you can and hand it over to the military. Everyone, take a picture of your equipment and use it as proof to claim it. We can't lose any more combat power. Also, all the equipment that you get, purple equipment and above, hand it over to Huaxia's military for unified management and distribution. Huaxia's overall national strength had long surpassed the United States. Their reputation and status in the world were no longer what they used to be. It was normal to hand it over to Huaxia. Also, immediately select a group of the best players and form a 40-man team. Give them priority to equip them with equipment and let them become our fist strength. At this moment, the Yamato military suddenly asked the representative of Huaxia's military, "Excuse me, is there any news about your country's god of war?" The representative of Huaxia's military shook his head. "I can't contact him for the time being." Sigh. The representative of Yamato sighed. Mad Demon's actions are even more sinister. Basically, we can't count on him. If Nameless is here, perhaps our chances of winning will be higher. Unfortunately, we can't find him at this time. The representatives of other countries also shook their heads helplessly. Now, those who can enter the second heaven should be from the servers that entered earlier. Their players who defeated the heaven domain boss are very likely to lead the players in their world to launch a defense or plunder war, but we. The one who defeated the heaven domain boss in Huaxia was Solipsistic. That person who slaughtered and killed without mercy would definitely not help them. If only we can find Nameless. He's strong and has a good relationship with Mad Demon. Maybe Mad Demon will help us for his sake. The representative of Huaxia shook his head. Indeed, we can't contact Nameless. I've also asked the Mad Wave Guild. They haven't seen their guild leader for a month. I think, now we shouldn't pin all our hopes on Nameless. According to our previous plan, let's start the selection and farming work first. After agreeing on the strategy, the Earth players finally moved. On one hand, the village held a world's top player selection competition. The participants were the strongest players recommended by the guild alliances of each country, including the closed beta player alliance. Every class had a certain quota. This way, there would be no problem in forming the strongest army in the future. On the other hand, the military teams and professional teams began to lead the players to deal with the super strong monsters in the wild. In fact, farming became a massacre scene. As the Radiant Moon werewolves had an extremely high instant kill rate, even the tanks with the best equipment had to take turns to take the damage. Fortunately, when the players worked together and had enough numbers, it was not completely impossible to defeat the Radiant Moon werewolves. Gradually, the news of the team's victory began to spread, at the same time, inside the Mad Wave Guild. At this time, everyone was glad that they listened to their guild leader's suggestion and did not leave the Earth Village. Therefore, their guild did not suffer any losses. The guild leader told us to wait for him, but the aliens are about to attack. Why hasn't the boss appeared yet? 10 steps and the others were anxious. Little May looked at Louis, meaning, you should go and ask your brother. Louis nodded and quietly hung up. She called her brother. Brother, what are you doing? Farming dungeons. I'm almost numb. Lu Chen's voice was emotionless. 200 dungeons. It would be strange if Lu Chen was not numb. He had been looking for dungeons before, but now, there were more for him to farm. Brother, we've reached the 2nd level. When are you coming over? Ah. You've reached the 2nd level. Hey, brother, didn't you receive the system's notification? The 2nd level opens at 8 in the morning. Lu Chen obviously did not receive it. Brother, how long will it take for you to finish farming the dungeons? Lu Chen looked at the remaining dungeons. There were still 44 of them. At least 2 more days. 2 days. 2 days. Lu Yi did not dare to ask more. After all, her brother was probably not going to farm an ordinary dungeon. Well, it's more important for you to farm the dungeons first. Having strength is the most important. After hanging up the phone, Lu Yi calculated the time. Her brother might not be able to arrive before the Earth Village lifted the novice protection. I hope we won't be found so easily. On the other side. In the blink of an eye, they've already reached the 2nd level. Lu Chen's brain was not working. Not only had he been farming for so long, but he had also become numb. Let's continue farming. If we leave this place, I'm afraid I won't want to come back. Lu Chen shook his head. Please, give me a better reward. Chapter 351. The legends on Earth were true, the Radiant Moon werewolves really dropped orange equipment. However, compared to the heaven that everyone had imagined, the only difference was that the so-called small monsters drop orange equipment was true. However, this small monster required the cooperation of dozens of parties. Who knew how many people would be sacrificed in order to defeat it? Fortunately, the military of each country and the Guild Alliance led the way. Plus, everyone knew that they were about to face an alien invasion, so no one secretly picked up other people's equipment. The strongest 40 people in the village were selected on the 2nd day. Not only were the strongest selected, but 2 reserve teams were also selected. The strength of the closed beta players was still strong, 50 out of the 120 spots were selected, and the first team was more than half. The rest were the strongest players from all over the world. It was worth mentioning that there were 18 people from Huaxia's side who were selected for the list of 120, and 4 of them were selected for the first team. They were TT Lin Sun, ESD Xiaoyao Feng, Iron-Blooded Fenghua, and Wild Waves Ing Jun. On Wild Waves' side, other than Ing Jun, Wild Waves Stardust, and Wild Waves Gaming Black Hole were also selected for the first team. Wild Waves actually took up 3 spots in the first team. The Wild Waves Guild was also bustling. Brother Ing Jun, you're too strong. Flower Fragrance looked at Ing Jun with admiration. 10 Steps said proudly, Brother Ing Jun was originally very strong, but he didn't have equipment before. Now that his equipment isn't inferior to others, he can finally unleash his full strength. It's a pity for Sister Sticky, Easy Bro, E, and Ning Shuang. They were 2 rounds away from the list of 120. Cold Glutinous smiled and said, I was just lucky. Stardust and Black Hole are the ones who really rely on strength. It was definitely good news that someone was selected for the first team. In this second layer of heaven where danger lurked everywhere, the phenomenon of Earth players huddling together would continue for a long time. This way, his equipment would be quickly formed, which was definitely a good thing for his guild. After the 120 strongest people in the village were selected, June, Stardust, and Black Hole didn't stay in the guild for long before they were immediately summoned. The higher-ups said that they had to quickly organize a fist team training. Everyone's individual strength was strong, but a team still needed tacit cooperation. Their current training program was also a little scary, soloing Radiant Moon werewolves with the strength of a single team. Looking at the backs of June and the others, Zihao shook his head. Yesterday, we were still talking about killing monsters like crazy when we reached the second celestial stage. Who would have thought that things would turn out like this when we actually arrived? Only the 40 strongest people in the world are qualified to fight a werewolf, Leng Nua patted Zihao's shoulder. Alright, stop sighing. Since we're here, let's get ready for a big fight. We can't let the aliens bully Earth. After receiving the encouragement from the president, everyone regained their confidence. Other than the fist team, the other teams were also rushing to kill the werewolves. Huaxia's military was constantly receiving new purple equipment and began to distribute them to the fist team. 2 days later, the global village's safe period finally ended. For other players, they could see the location of Earth Village on the map. For Earth players, they could also see the neighboring Nether Village on the map. It turned out that they were in a sealed map, and now the road to Niayuan Village had been opened. It was impossible for them to go on a long journey. Now, the Earth players could only hope that others would not find this place. Unfortunately, things did not go as they wished. Early in the morning, the scouts arranged by Huaxia's military rushed back to Earth Village's base camp. At this time, all the big bosses were discussing the construction and defense of Earth Village when the scouts rushed in. Captain, someone is coming. The scouts were a little out of breath. All the big bosses at the scene were suddenly shocked. What? This is too fast. Did they come at the right time? We just received a system notification, and they came the next second. What do they look like? How many of them are there? What are their levels? How are their equipment? The scouts immediately reported. They look like us. There are tens of thousands of them. I can't see their levels, but they must be over level 50. As for their equipment, many of them are wearing orange equipment with special effects. No, it's not just orange equipment. I saw many of them wearing dark gold equipment, and more than one. Tens of thousands of them. Full orange equipment, and dark gold equipment. Everyone's eyes widened. How were they supposed to fight? They were grinding Radiant Moon werewolves, and the best equipment they had was 7 stars chasing the moon. Even an entire team only had a handful of them. In the end, tens of thousands of them were all wearing the best equipment. Captain, I heard many of them say that they want to massacre our Earth Village. What? Massacre? We don't seem to have offended anyone. Why do they hate us so much? Judging from their equipment levels, I'm afraid they really want to massacre our Earth Village. At this time, the representative of Huaxia's military, Great Wall Black Eagle, stood up. His eyes were restrained, and his tone was firm. Everyone, whether we can win or not, we must not back down this time. Everyone nodded. Everyone had already reached a consensus on this point. Surrender and beg for mercy? History had proven that this would not arouse the sympathy of the invaders. Instead, they would become more aggressive. The only way out now was to fight. Inform all players immediately to get into formation and prepare for battle. Great Wall Black Eagle looked at everyone present. Everyone, we must fight with vigor in this battle. Even if the city is massacred. Well, it seems to be massacred, we must let the aliens know that we, Earthlings, are not to be trifled with. That's right. In the face of a strong enemy, we will never back down. Great Wall Black Eagle looked into the distance and took a deep breath. He did not know why, but it was just a game, but it gave him a long-lost feeling of excitement. He murmured, "With my flesh and blood, I will build a new Great Wall of the world. With my flesh and blood, I will build a new Great Wall of the world." Well said. Time was running out, and the commanders quickly passed down the order. "What, the aliens are here? Quick, quick, inform the players to go online. Is there going to be a war? Our slogan is with my flesh and blood, I will build a new Great Wall of the world." Great, what's there to be afraid of? They bully us as soon as they arrive. Come, even if I die, I will smear their faces with dust. Everyone, let's move. We have more people, and they only have tens of thousands. We can drown them with our saliva. At this time, more than 1 million players had gathered in Yuan village. The vanguard has gone. I don't know if Solipsistic is here. Let's go and check it out first. If we go now, we will be eating meat in big mouthfuls. However, we might still die if we are not careful. After all, the difference in numbers is too big for players from this world. It's okay. It's easy to choke on meat in big mouthfuls. Anyway, we will have meat to eat. They have 3 billion people. Tens of thousands of people won't be able to finish them all. Many people from the bounty groups are here. They want to snatch Solipsistic's bounty. Don't worry. After all, there are too many people in Earth Village. Now players from all over the server are rushing here, vowing to slaughter Earth Village endlessly and force them to punish Solipsistic severely. Chapter 352. This time, the 130,000 worlds had opened the second heaven. Strangely, the veteran players were not interested in the ordinary players of these worlds. Instead, they had all come to Earth Village. As for the reason, of course, it was Solipsistic's fault. Now, Solipsistic's original body was clearing the last life gate. The reward of the 100 death gate could be claimed, but Lu Chen would rather wait a little longer. If the 100 life gate also had a reward, he would claim it at the same time. This was the only life gate in the 99 death gates, and it was more difficult than all the other gates. However, Lu Chen did not find it too difficult since he had already cleared the only death gate. At most, he would just waste some time. Ah, there's one more point. Little Originator, go for it. Now, Little Originator's attack had soared to 2 million, and its damage was no less than Lu Chen's. 20 minutes later, I finally cleared it. Damn, I got a dark gold cloak. It's okay, but it didn't drop any rainbow gold. Lu Chen sat on the ground in relief. You have cleared the 100 life gate and received a special reward. Would you like to claim it now? Ha, there really is a reward. Lu Chen felt that his hard work had not been in vain. Taking a deep breath, Lu Chen rubbed his hands. Bless me, bless me, bless me. Give me a good reward. Let's claim the 100 life gate reward first. Congratulations on claiming the 100 life gate reward. You can strengthen a dark gold item to level 6. Damn, this is the reward of the 100 life gate? Lu Chen frowned. He felt that it was not good enough. But then again, can dark gold items be strengthened? Lu Chen tried it on the strengthening page and found that there was no strengthening prompt for dark gold items. In fact, although dark gold items were stronger than orange items in terms of basic attributes and special effects, a dark gold item of the same level was not as strong as an orange item of the same level. So, dark gold items can also be strengthened, but they can only be strengthened through special means? Lu Chen thought about it and could only come to this conclusion. If he could only strengthen one item, Lu Chen took a look at his equipment and decisively chose the dark gold magic weapon, Universal 8 Desolation. Universal Desolation was one of his 2 strongest damage output skills. Its damage was off the charts, and it was a Heaven's Wrath attack. In terms of pure damage, it was even stronger than 3000 body flicker slash. In addition, the magic treasure Heaven and Earth 8 Desolates had the most special effects. After it was strengthened, all the special effects would be upgraded, and the benefits would obviously be the greatest. You have chosen the Dark Gold Artifact Universal 8 Desolation to strengthen. The system is activating Universal Refinement for you. This function requires a 9-star Artificer to activate. Damn, so it turns out that I can also strengthen it, but I need to be a 9-star refiner. Thinking about how he was only a 6-star refiner now, Lu Qin still felt that he had profited. After the upgrade, the basic attributes of the 8 Desolation Heaven and Earth equipment surpassed that of the Dazzling Gold equipment. The 3D average value reached 6,500 plus, and the spiritual energy increased by 1,500. Most importantly, the special effects were enhanced. Lightless Heavenly Flame Pillar, radius increased to 200 meters. A maximum of 288 lightless Heavenly Flame Pillars can be created. Heavenly Flame Pillar, preparation time, 0.1 seconds, duration, 5 seconds. Furthermore, after being hit for the first time, players would be stunned for 0.5 seconds. Damn, it's so strong. Lu Chen's eyes widened. The current lightless Heavenly Flame Pillar was extremely difficult to dodge. Moreover, once hit, players would be stunned for 0.5 seconds, and it was very likely that they would be burned twice in a row. Black Coffin Dead Zone, radius reached an exaggerated 500 meters. Damage increased by 50%. Nirvana Rebirth was also super strong. After death, players could revive twice. Cooldown time, 24 hours. Tranquil Spring, increase HP recovery speed by 1% every second. Active healing of 50% of the target's HP, maximum of 40 targets to heal. Cooldown time, 590 seconds, 600 to 10. Underground Magma, cause a large-scale earthquake and magma eruption. Enemies in the area will be stunned for 3 seconds. Mystic Armor, permanently gain 40% damage reflection effect. After being hit, there is a 35% chance of taunting the enemy for 5 seconds. During taunting, the user's physical defense, spiritual defense, and HP recovery speed will be increased by 150%. Additionally, there is an additional 160% damage reflection effect. Damn, there is a 35% chance of 200% damage reflection. Damn, this is definitely a godly tool to turn the tables. The strongest Heaven and Earth 8 Desolation was simple and brutal. It increased from 10 times to 15 times, but it was absolutely terrifying. Too strong. Looks like I didn't make the wrong choice. My attack power has increased again. Please collect the 100 Death Gate reward as soon as possible. After leaving the dungeon, the reward will automatically become invalid. The system was already urging Lu Chen. I know. Don't do it one by one. The 100 Life Gate reward was just an appetizer. Lu Chen believed that the more difficult 100 Death Gate was the most important. Collect the 100 Death Gate reward. Congratulations on collecting the 100 Death Gate reward. You can strengthen a piece of rainbow gold equipment to level 7, this function requires a 1-star weapon refiner to activate. Ah, that's it. Lu Chen was rather disappointed. You didn't even give me anything. Are you worthy of me grinding for so many days? Unfortunately, the system wouldn't care about Lu Chen's complaints. Lu Chen shook his head and silently took out his only piece of rainbow gold equipment, the Abyss Dragon Crystal Bow. I have no choice. I can only strengthen you. You are the only piece of rainbow gold equipment I have. Dark gold equipment could only be strengthened by 6, while rainbow gold equipment could be strengthened by 7. After strengthening, the 3D attributes of the Dragon Crystal Bow directly exceeded 10,000. Strength and agility exceeded 12,000. Physique also increased by 8,500. Attack exceeded 15,000. Double critical strike chance increased by 50%, triple critical strike chance increased by 15%, quadruple critical strike chance increased by 5%, and critical strike damage increased by 250%. Seeing the first effect, Lu Chen shook his head. Now, his critical strike chance had exceeded 100%. Chaos God attacks the caster, delaying their casting speed, 0.5 seconds. If there is a critical strike after the attack, the target will be stunned. Double critical strike, stun for 2 seconds. Every time there is a double critical strike, stun time will be extended by 2 seconds. Sky Piercer was still a rapid firing speed and a sure hit. In addition, there was a cripple effect, reducing attack speed and movement speed by 30% for 10 seconds. Super long range shooting, range changed from 300 meters to 7,000 meters. Attack increased to 500%. At the same time, he could enjoy the effects of Chaos God and Permetha. The number of people attacking increased to 100. The most powerful change was the strongest bow. There were no changes to the initial effects. Only when attacking the enemy's weapon, there was a new description. After locking onto the enemy's weapon for 0.3 seconds, there is a probability of shattering the enemy's weapon after hitting the enemy's weapon. Probability description 1, 100% chance of shattering purple equipment, 40% chance of shattering orange equipment, 10% chance of shattering dark gold equipment, 5% chance of shattering iridescent gold equipment. Probability description 2, for every level of equipment strengthening, the probability increases by 5%. Looking at this description, Lu Chen's worldview was almost shattered. 100% chance of shattering orange equipment. What kind of concept was this? Even orange equipment had a 40% chance of shattering. If there was a difference in strengthening, an orange equipment without strengthening would have a 75% chance of shattering the dragon crystal bow, dark gold equipment. Unless Lu Chen had passed the 100 life gate, 45% chance of shattering was close to 50%. Iridescent gold equipment, even without strengthening, still had a 40% chance of shattering. Lu Chen suddenly looked at the weapon in his hand. It turned out that the strongest bow was not a bluff. Previously, he did not feel it strongly because it had not shown its true strength. Now, Lu Chen knew how strong the bow in his hand was. Chapter 353. After clearing the door of life and death, Lu Chen could finally leave this damned place. Right, Lu Yi said that the Earth players are here. It's time to visit them. After all, we're from the same hometown. Lu Chen exited the dungeon and opened the map to check. It seems to be south of Niayuan village. 9 wings. Lu Chen summoned 9 wings and jumped on. Let's go and see those old friends. Outside Earth Village, the scene could only be described as tragic. Facing an army of tens of thousands of super experts, the Earth players tried their best to resist, but the disparity in strength was too great. They could only rely on their numbers to hold the line. Brothers, charge. Kill one and you can get 4 or 5 gold. This is a great opportunity to make a fortune. Why are you robbing our Earth village? Is it fun to kill us newbies? Why? To tell you the truth, we don't need a reason at all. The law of the jungle is the only reason here. The 3 top teams on Earth fought hard, but their equipment levels were too low. They were instantly defeated when they met the enemy. You still want to resist? You players are trash in our eyes. Every one of us here has defeated the celestial domain boss. We are existences you can only look up to. In the distance, in the headquarters, the people in charge of the various countries could only shake their heads helplessly as they watched the tragic battle. They're too strong. Even if we block this wave, our losses will be huge. They're all super experts who have defeated the celestial domain boss. If that's true, then even if Nameless comes, he won't be able to turn the tables. Whatever, today is a battle for Earth's dignity. We can still block this wave. The battle lasted for a full 40 minutes before the Earth players finally repelled the enemy's attack. However, after this victory, there was no joy. The corpses of the Earth players were everywhere. As the main force of the battle, many players in the Guild Alliance died more than once. Many of the best equipment were also taken away by those guys. Li Muhua rushed back to the headquarters. Leader, we've seized 18 pieces of equipment from the enemy this time, including 5 dark gold and 13 orange equipment. On our side, we've lost 47 pieces of top 5 divine equipment. The loss of other equipment and materials in the backpack are countless. The Great Wall of Iron and Blood nodded, his expression heavy. There were too few spoils of war. Most of the players were running out of HP, and many of them could easily retreat. Those who were actually killed were only a minority. However, on their side, they couldn't retreat at all. Even if they died, they had to fight. In the end, although they won, it looked like they had suffered a great loss. Let everyone rest for a while. Let's hurry up and distribute the equipment. The top equipment will still be distributed to the first group. As for the other players who suffered heavy losses, record them down for the time being and compensate them later. These people walked out of the temporary meeting room and saw the players around them helplessly counting their losses. I lost my strong 5 gods martial spear, and I also lost a lot of materials. We don't have a choice. We can't let those civilian players charge into the fray. If they go, they won't be able to fight at all. At this time, we're the only ones going up. If we lose, then so be it. We're at the second heaven. Now that we have to unite and fight against so many strong players, we can't care about these things anymore. At this moment, 40 to 50 people rushed over from behind. They were all Jotian civilian players. A black old man shouted to the professional players around him, "May I ask who can lead us to the current commander?" Li Muhua frowned and walked over. "Old man, I'm from Huaxia's military." "Why are you looking for the commander?" "That's great," these people said excitedly. "It's like this. Right now, we're mainly relying on you guys to fight against the strong extraterrestrials. However, we all know that our strength is far from the extraterrestrials. You must have suffered heavy losses in the battle just now. Although we poor players aren't skilled and don't have any particularly good equipment, after playing Jotian for so long, we've more or less accumulated some." "That's right. We have pills and thousands of divine martial equipment. They were all donated by everyone. We want to give them to you guys." Li Muhua was suddenly moved. Even if they doubled the monthly reward, the ones who farmed the most were still professional teams. The real civilian players couldn't even pass the first boss, let alone farm the divine martial equipment. "But, it's very difficult for you guys to farm a divine martial equipment." "It's okay. It's just equipment. Now is the time when everyone is a soldier. If you need us, we're ready to be cannon fodder at any time," the old man said excitedly. "That's right, young man. Take us to the commander. Without lips, the teeth will be cold. You guys are fighting for all the players on Earth. We won't hide behind you and do nothing." Speaking of which, after the Earth server merged, the infighting had never stopped. However, until now, the players on Earth were unprecedentedly united. There was no distinction between countries, races, gender, or age. Everyone hoped to defeat the strong extraterrestrials. "Okay, I'll take you guys there." Soon, the new equipment was distributed. The 3 main forces received a large amount of equipment and recovered their combat power. However, at this moment, a scout rushed into the base camp. "Not good. We've discovered an army of over 1 million coming our way. Some of them are from the first batch of people who attacked us." "What? Millions? That's impossible. They can't gather so many people so quickly." "It's possible that they've been gathering for a long time. The tens of thousands of people from before were just here to lead the charge. Let's go out and take a look. Muhua, get everyone to prepare for battle. The Great Wall of Iron and Blood shouted Li Muhua's real name in desperation. 10 minutes later, an army of millions with luxurious equipment had gathered outside Earth Village. The players on Earth were ready. The Great Wall of Iron and Blood was at the forefront of the vast army of players behind him. The enemy's leader's ID was Lei Xing. He took a step forward, raised his chin slightly, and looked at the army of players on Earth with contempt. Finally, his gaze fell on the Great Wall of Iron and Blood. TSK, TSK, TSK. So many lambs waiting to be slaughtered. Just looking at them makes me drool. The Great Wall of Iron and Blood also took a step forward. Why do you have to target our Earth Village? Didn't you say that 130,000 worlds will open the second heaven? I don't believe that every new village will have millions of old people rushing to plunder. Lei Xing smiled. You're right. However, there are still many things that you don't understand. As for me, I'll let you die with understanding. Jiutian opens the second heaven in every world at the same time. When someone defeats the heaven domain boss, the Jiutian of this world will open the second heaven in advance. However, before that, the Jiutian will open the second heaven twice as long for the first heaven players. The time Lone Tyrant took to clear the heaven domain boss just so happened to be the last batch of players in this batch. Hence, you guys only had doubled the duration for 1 month. Judging from this point alone, you guys are the weakest. Lei Xing smiled. Under normal circumstances, the teams that enter the second heaven early will receive the players from their own world. However, our people have already confirmed that the solipsistic didn't come to protect you. A world like yours that doesn't have anyone to receive you and is weak is naturally the easiest to plunder. Of course, there's one last point, which is also the most important one. Lei Xing's gaze gradually turned cold. Too many of us want to kill the solipsistic, but we can't find him. If you're willing to hand him over, perhaps we'll be lenient and let you go. Chapter 354. If we hand over the solipsistic, you will let us go? Great Wall of Iron and Blood asked. If you hand over the solipsistic and compensate us 100 billion gold coins, we will let you go. Lei Yin smiled. Great Wall of Iron and Blood frowned. At present, if they were to fight this battle, their chances of winning were almost zero. But were they going to hand over the solipsistic? Li Muhua looked at his leader nervously. Was he really going to agree to the other party's conditions? Lei Yin saw that the other party was still hesitating and snorted contemptuously. Kneeling to live is still living. Standing to die is really dead. What is there to hesitate about? Look at what the solipsistic has done for you. He did not do anything for you, why do you want to protect him? 100 billion gold coins may sound scary, but don't forget, you are all players of the same world. Everyone can come up with 30 gold coins. If it is not convenient for you to inform everyone to raise money, this is for you. Inform everyone to raise money now. Lei Yin threw over a tool called the Booming Cauldron. This is the tool for shouting in the current map. Let them raise money. Great Wall of Iron and Blood took the Booming Cauldron. Shouting in the whole map. Even such a basic tool was so powerful in the second layer of Iron and Blood. He used the Booming Cauldron. This way, his voice could spread throughout the entire map. Players of Earth, the other party has given us a condition. If we hand over the solipsistic and compensate them 100 billion gold coins, which is an average of 30 gold coins per person, they will let us go. They will allow us to live on our knees. After this sentence was spread, the whole army of Earth was silent. Because everyone knew that the commander must have something else to say. Indeed, the mad demon is a very selfish person. He massacred a city in the first layer of iron and killed other players without batting an eye. He has done a lot of bad things in the name of a monster. The most hateful thing is that I came to the second layer of Iron and Blood to pick up money happily. In the end, This bastard directly raised the difficulty of the game to the hard level. I don't even have the strength to complain. Doesn't he think about our feelings? He's an earthling after all. He didn't even guide us when we came. Even if you came and ran away after realizing that you couldn't beat him, I would still feel a little comforted. At least our guide thought of everyone. But he didn't even come. In short, that guy is a complete bastard. Everyone was in agreement with this point. Lei Yin nodded slightly. It seemed that the other party was going to compromise. However, the Great Wall of Iron and Blood's tone suddenly changed. However, no matter how much of a jerk he is still an earthling. There are kind. Without the mad demon, we wouldn't be qualified to stand here. If we wait another 100 days for the second layer of heaven to open naturally, we will be the weakest world in the entire second layer of heaven. It's that bastard who gave us the opportunity to enter the second heavenly layer in advance. The difficulty of the game has increased, but isn't it the same for everyone? If others can survive, why can't we? They want us to compensate 100 billion. This reminds me of the darkest days of Huaxia. From the moment you sign an unequal treaty in order to survive, you can't get the comfort you want. That's just the beginning of being exploited. They want us to live on our knees. Sorry, there's a saying on Earth. We'd rather die standing than live on our knees. Listen up. If you want my answer, then I'll tell you my answer, everyone's answer. Get lost. With my flesh and blood, I'll build a new great wall of the world. The Great Wall of Iron and Blood's heartfelt words instantly ignited the anger in the hearts of 3 billion Earth players. Billions of players shouted in unison. With my flesh and blood, I'll build a new great wall of the world. With my flesh and blood, I'll build a new great wall of the world. With my flesh and blood, I'll build a new great wall of the world. The corners of Lei Yin's eyes twitched. She didn't expect that the tool she gave to that guy to persuade him to surrender would become a propaganda tool for him to mobilize people before the war. Well, it seems like you won't feel comfortable until you die a few more times. I gave you face, but you don't want it. Fine, everyone listen up. Massacre the Earth Village. Leave no one alive. Kill them until they don't dare to revive. From today onwards, Earth will forever be the most inferior existence in Jiutian. Kill. The war was about to start. Lei Yin laughed wildly, ha 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 ha, it's finally starting. I'll let you see what a dark gold weapon is. I don't think you've ever seen one before. Return of the 10,000 swords. However, at this moment, in the sky far away, a golden light suddenly flashed. The golden light flashed and disappeared, but this sudden light attracted everyone's attention. Everyone looked at the sky in surprise. What's that? I don't know, I didn't see anything. Before the voice died away, in the blink of an eye, a long black arrow carrying a great force suddenly appeared in everyone's sight. Then, the arrow directly blasted between the two armies. With a loud bang, the ground shook violently. A black arrow stood in front of the two armies. Because the force was too great, the tail of the arrow was trembling violently. What arrow is this? I've never seen this arrow before. How far away was this arrow shot from? I can't even see the archer. The old players were still more knowledgeable. Someone whispered, black crystal arrow? Is there really someone who uses such an expensive bow? It's not a matter of whether it's expensive or not. A normal bow can't unleash the full power of the black crystal arrow. Even I can't see the archer. How far away is he? This trembling arrow stood in front of the two armies. However, at this moment, everyone suddenly didn't dare to act rashly. Suddenly, someone used a loud voice to send a message. So in your hearts, I'm a complete bastard. Great Wall of Iron and Blood, wait until I've dealt with those bastards. You have to give me an explanation. Everyone was shocked. The complete bastard that Great Wall of Iron and Blood said seemed to be only one person. Could it be old players of the second heaven, it's fine if you have a problem with me. Didn't you launch a crowdfunding campaign of 1 gold coin per person per day? I have no problem with it at all. However, if you touch my people, I can't tolerate it. Didn't you say that this is a world where the strong preys on the weak? Very well, that means that you're all ready. Then let me, a player from Earth, play this game of the strong preying on the weak with you. On the horizon, people finally saw a small black dot. This small black dot was flying over at an extremely fast speed. Gradually, people finally saw the mount clearly. The king of mounts, the 9-winged sky dragon. It's the 9-winged sky dragon. Is Brother Nameless here? No, it's the mad demon. He just said that he's a solipsistic. Finally, the flying dragon arrived. A person jumped down from the flying dragon. To be precise, it was a demon. The dark green demon spread his wings, swooped down, and landed in the middle of the two armies. Above his head was the only golden ID in the entire server, solipsistic. Chapter 355. When the second heaven players saw this person, they were extremely shocked. That's solipsistic. He's the solipsistic. Why is he in this form? Is it a special effect? Gold ID. Why does he have a gold ID? This is too flashy. That mount. Damn it, why did my mount land? He's the solipsistic, the guy who raised the game's difficulty by 2 levels. Didn't they say he would come? That arrow is his. Where did he shoot it from? Question marks, countless question marks. The expressions of the star system players were not as calm as the Earth players when they first saw Lu Chen. On the contrary, the mad demon now was even stronger and more abnormal. Even if it was not the first time the Earth players had seen Lu Chen's wild monster form, they were still extremely shocked at this moment. It's the mad demon. When did that guy get a gold ID? 1 gold per person per day for a crowd-funded bounty. He's wanted by all these abnormal second heaven players. He's been in second heaven for a month, what has he done? That guy actually remembers us, he treats us as his own people. While they were shocked, the Earth players felt even more joy and pride in their hearts. The mad demon was finally on their side. The huge wings carried the mad demon and landed steadily between the two armies. In fact, after Lu Chen left the Door of Life and Death, he went to Freedom City again and threw a large number of materials and equipment into the city's warehouse. He also did not know that Earth Village was under attack. He only thought that since he had time, he would come and see his fellow villagers and give them some pointers on how to survive in the second heaven. When he arrived at Earth Village, he was not supposed to make it in time for the battle. However, the Great Wall of Iron and Blood's mobilization of the entire map just happened to reach Lu Chen's ears. They were a few miles away and the battle was about to begin. Lu Chen himself could not make it, but the black crystal arrow could. When he arrived at the battlefield, Lu Chen looked at the Earth players. Good Lord, there was a sea of people. He could not see the end of it. He looked at the Great Wall of Iron and Blood and shook his head. This guy had just said that he was a complete bastard. Alright, since what he said was basically the truth, he was forgiven this time. Mad Demon, you're finally here. We thought you wouldn't come. The Iron Blood Great Wall looked at Lu Chen excitedly. Lu Chen nodded slightly and didn't say much. He just said lightly, I didn't know about this before. Now that I'm here, I'll help you settle this score with them. Lu Chen's voice was very calm, as if he was talking about something very normal. This caused the faces of the millions of veteran players to turn ugly. Oi, solipsistic, you're really arrogant. Isn't it just a special effect that looks like a wild monster, a golden ID, and a 9-winged mount? Do you think you can stop our million-strong army by yourself? That's right. Maybe it's because of these benefits that he started the higher difficulty. Even your companions said that you're a complete bastard. You're definitely capable of doing such a thing. We've been looking for you for a long time. Since you've taken the initiative to appear, then it's just right. Today, there are millions of us here. It's enough to trample on you countless times. You've only been in the second heaven for a month. Do you know how long we've been here? Don't think that you're so great just because you completed some mission and started the hard mode. Maybe the mission is just moving your mouth. Lu Chen turned to look at the group of veteran players and narrowed his eyes slightly. I started the hard mode, so what? Why do I need to explain my actions to you? I'm too lazy to talk nonsense with you. If you want to live, it's simple. You can target me, but you have to promise that you won't target other Earth players in the future and leave 100 billion gold coins as compensation. Then, I'll let you live. Hearing this, Lei Yin laughed loudly. Ha ha ha, solipsistic, I've seen crazy people, but I've never seen someone as crazy as you. Are you stupid? Do you think we're afraid of you? That's right. With so many of us, we can kill you instantly. Brothers, let's settle the old and new grudges today. Kill solipsistic and wash the Earth village with blood. Lu Chen snorted coldly. The last person who said this was kneeling in Nia Yuan village for a week. Looks like you won't give up until you see the coffin. Very well, remember clearly when you beg for mercy later. The compensation will be increased to 200 billion. Great Wall, get everyone to back off. Great Wall of Iron and Blood said nervously. Crazy Demon, how can you defeat so many of them alone? Ha ha ha, Crazy Demon, did you hear that? Even your companions doubt your ability. Stop pretending. Someone on the opposite side laughed loudly. Lu Chen turned to look at Li Muhua and signaled him to persuade Great Wall. Leader, although this is indeed somewhat unbelievable, but we'd better listen to him. We can't help even if we want to now. Moreover, that guy doesn't seem to be an impulsive person. Great Wall of Iron and Blood hesitated for a moment and finally nodded. Everyone, back off. Don't make unnecessary sacrifices. The Earth players' combat team retreated, leaving enough space for Lu Chen and the level 2 players. Lei Yin sneered and said to Lu Chen, don't worry. When you die, we'll let them accompany you. Today, we'll wash the Earth village with blood. Lu Chen smiled ferociously. He, to be honest, I'm afraid you can't do it. Don't talk nonsense. Don't you want to kill me? Now that I'm here, what are you waiting for? Lei Yin snorted coldly and revealed a murderous look. Brothers, kill him. Beside Lei Yin, a prophet shouted angrily, so you're only using an orange weapon. Sorry, I'm the same. And I'm using a crystal sword that's extremely difficult to drop. Xiao Yao's imperial sword, assassination. The characteristic of a crystal sword was that it was difficult to track its movements. Coupled with the skill called assassination, the crystal sword appeared behind Lu Chen in a flash, ready to stab at him. Solipsistic, you like to show off with a bow, right? Sorry, your daddy's bow is a dark gold bow. I'll torture you to death. Continuous shooting. I'll let you know what the strongest bow is. Lu Chen frowned slightly. That guy actually thought that his dark gold silver bow was the strongest bow. Do you have some misunderstanding about the strongest? Lu Chen shook his head. At the same time, hundreds of people on the other side attacked at once. How strong can a guy from the weakest world be? Everyone, don't be deceived by his appearance. Kill. That's right. You think you can go to heaven with just 2 orange weapons? In level 2, you don't even dare to show off without a dark gold weapon. It's time to wake him up and let him know what kind of existence level 2 is. Facing 200 to 300 skills, Lu Chen shook his head. In battle mode, Lu Chen immediately put away his 2 weapons. I heard that your equipment is very strong. Lu Chen smiled. Then let me see how strong it is. After that, Lu Chen took out his black bow. Abyss Dragon Crystal Bow. Enhanced 7. Seeing this bow, the group of people was suddenly petrified. That weapon, why, is it shining with colorful light? Chapter 356. Many of the second layer of heaven players had never seen a legendary weapon before. Legendary weapons were only unlocked after the normal difficulty was unlocked, so no one knew if anyone had gotten one yet. Although they had never seen one, they had heard of it. Could it be a dazzling gold weapon? Legendary weapons were known as dazzling gold or colorful gold because of the different colors on them. Impossible, how could he have a legendary weapon? Oh my god, it's a legendary weapon. This is the first time I've seen a legendary weapon. The Earth players were even more depressed. In the first layer of heaven, only Mad Demon and Nameless had dark gold weapons, and there weren't many of them, only 1 or 2. Now they didn't even have a single dark gold weapon, but Mad Demon had already gotten a dazzling gold weapon. Looking at the expressions of the second layer of heaven players, it was rare to see double even in the second layer of heaven. Didn't they say that they had been in the second layer of heaven for a while? Then they should be stronger than Mad Demon, so they could pass the Sky Domain boss earlier. But they haven't had a dazzling gold weapon for so long, and Mad Demon got one in a month. Too strong. No, higher level equipment can only be unlocked after the normal difficulty is unlocked, so it's useless for them to come early. In that case, we should be thanking the Mad Demon. Think about it, if there was a difficulty adjustment in the first layer of heaven, we wouldn't be so weak in the second layer of heaven if we got more dark gold weapons. You mean, if the difficulty of the second layer of heaven is increased, we won't be defeated in the third layer of heaven? That makes sense. Unfortunately, the discussion of the Earth players didn't reach the other side. There was only hatred in their eyes. Finally, Solipsistic moved. Strongest bow. Flash shot. Lu Chen had already locked onto Lei Yin's crystal sword, as well as the other people's flying weapons. While using the strongest bow, Lu Chen also launched the flash shot skill. Flash shot increased movement speed by 100%. During high-speed movement, it also increased shooting speed by 100% until the skill was cancelled or the pure aura was exhausted. This skill was also very strong. It greatly increased attack speed and movement speed, ensuring that the weak archer could provide strong damage while increasing their survival rate. Of course, Lu Chen wasn't weak at all. He didn't choose any profession back then, and all 3 aspects of his development were average. What he needed was speed of attack and movement. His movement speed allowed him to dodge skills, while his attack speed allowed him to unleash the effects of the strongest bow more times in a short period of time. In an instant, Lu Chen's movement speed increased dramatically. At the same time, he knocked an arrow on his bow and shot out 40 to 50 black crystal arrows. What was that guy doing? He doesn't seem to be attacking the enemy. 40 to 50 black crystal arrows in one go. This guy is really rich. Who cares? Killing him is a huge gain. I must get his dazzling gold bow. However, before he could finish his sentence, he heard dozens of explosions in the sky. In the next second, the dozens of weapons that were pursuing him in the sky shattered. At this moment, the world seemed to have fallen silent. My weapon, why did it explode? It didn't explode upon death, but it really exploded. Motherfucker, this is impossible. It's impossible for my orange grade weapon to drop. My dark gold dagger, no, impossible, this can't be real. This must be an illusion. There can't be such a perverted special effect. This is too much. Lei Yin was completely stunned. He still had many moves in his Xiaoyao sword art, but now, he couldn't use any of them. System notification, unable to use Xiaoyao sword art, no matching weapon. Of course, there was no matching weapon because his flowing cloud crystal sword had already shattered into pieces. My strongest 5 crystal sword, why did it explode? Just as he finished his sentence, 3 black crystal arrows, with a speed that couldn't be seen, almost simultaneously hit the bow in the hands of the guy who was holding the dark gold bow. With a boom, the dark gold bow shattered. Lu Chen dodged the wave of attacks. Taking advantage of the time when everyone was stunned, he also stopped. Quick movement. I heard that your bow is the strongest bow. Lu Chen looked at that guy with interest, but now, it seems that you are not even fit to be my son. So next time, pay attention to your words. Otherwise, it won't be good if you kick an iron plate. Lu Chen specifically destroyed his weapon mainly because of his foul mouth. That guy's mind was buzzing. His dark gold bow, before Mad Demon's bow, was considered the best bow in the entire server. But now, it had become a pile of scrap metal. No, impossible. Even if you are a dazzling gold bow, how can you destroy my weapon? That guy widened his eyes, almost on the verge of madness. Without this bow, his strength instantly dropped by a few levels. In the second heaven of hard mode, how could he survive in the future? Lu Chen coldly snorted, normal dazzling gold bows can't destroy your weapon. Unfortunately, mine isn't normal. Didn't you want to destroy my weapon? I'm not afraid to tell you that this bow of mine is the strongest 7 legendary bow. If you have it, come and get it. Once these words came out, the million-strong army was instantly shocked. Strongest 7. Impossible. No one can even strengthen dark gold bows, how can he strengthen dazzling gold bows? What kind of devil is this guy? He isn't human at all. When the Earth players saw this scene, they felt extremely happy. It was not that Mad Demon had destroyed these people's weapons, but from their expressions and reactions, they were exactly the same as the Earth players. Ha 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 ha, these so-called super experts are like newbies in front of Mad Demon. It's exactly the same as when we saw Mad Demon Nameless. How is it? Now you know why we call him Mad Demon. That guy isn't human at all. What kind of super expert is he? He even said that we were frogs at the bottom of a well. Now, he's no different from us. For a moment, no one used skills like sword manipulation. The group of people held their weapons tightly. They had no choice. Their days were already difficult. If Solipsistic destroyed their weapons, they would be back to square one. However, Solipsistic's real attack began at this moment. Lightless Sky Flame Pillar. Black Coffin Death Zone. These 2 skills were a must-use at the beginning of the game. However, the next scene shocked everyone. Rapid movement. Solipsistic did not like other archers who liked to distance themselves. Instead, he rushed into the crowd of players. This position allowed Sky Flame Pillar and Black Coffin Death Zone to be used to their fullest potential. At the same time, the others would definitely not expect this guy to rush into the crowd with a bow and arrow. That's not right. Mad Demon should use melee weapons after getting close. Why is he still using a bow? Ironblood Great Wall frowned. Bow and arrow were most afraid of close combat, but Mad Demon chose to do so. He did not know how strong Lu Chen's 8 Desolates universe had become after reaching level 6. When Lu Chen entered the crowd, the health of the people around him began to drop rapidly. Sky Flame Pillar had 0.1 seconds of preparation time. It was almost impossible to dodge. Once hit, one would be stunned for 0.5 seconds. This was equivalent to Lu Chen having a light barrier around him. Whoever got close would be unlucky. Black Coffin Death Zone had a large area of continuous health damage. It was unavoidable, too scary. My blood. Get away from him. These 2 skills are fatal. Motherfucker, get away from him. Don't let him get close. The group of people crazily ran away from Lu Chen. Ironblood Great Wall frowned. After a long time, he finally spoke. This is a melee archer. Chapter 357. An archer actually dashed into the crowd and started killing. This caused the players' heads to buzz. The strongest bow. Lu Qin turned around and shattered a flying sword with 2 arrows. The player who tried to sneak an attack was heartbroken. My strongest level 5 orange weapon. When the others saw this, they gasped. It can shatter the opponent's weapon and nullify the skill. Is this the terror of a legendary weapon? Kill him. Kill him. Use earth-level techniques. Surround him, let's attack together. Lu Qin snorted. Standing so close together, aren't you courting death? Underground magma. The ground suddenly shook violently. Then, the ground bulged up. The players in the center of the earthquake were all stunned. Then, magma erupted from the bulging gap. In the distance, the Earth players saw this scene and were speechless. This is a volcanic eruption. Is this Mad Demon's skill? He can trigger a volcanic eruption. This is too crazy. He can be this strong. Oh my god, this is unbelievable. Now I'm relieved. I used to wonder why we should play the game with him. In the end, we're so much weaker than him. But now, look at those level 2 players who can't fight back. They're so strong, but they're still tortured to death. What are we? Actually, I think Mad Demon was really merciful to us. So this is Mad Demon's true strength. Although Fengling was not standing in the front row, she could still see the battle in the distance. When she saw Mad God single-handedly taking on 1,000,000 level 2 players, Fengling was very excited. Mad God, I knew you would come. I also know that you've always been kind. You won't let others bully the Earth players. Lu Yi and the others were closer to the front. At this time, Lu Yi frowned. Oh my god, Mad Demon's strength is too terrifying. Why do I feel that my brother, our big brother, can't beat him? Lu Yi certainly did not want Nameless to lose to Mad Demon. Although they seemed to be on good terms, she still hoped that her brother was the strongest. But now, it seemed that Mad Demon's strength was too terrifying. Li Muhua glanced at Lu Yi and whispered to her, "Hey, your brother hasn't told you yet? What didn't you tell me?" Li Muhua was not a talkative person. Since Lu Qin did not say anything, it was not convenient for him to say more. He scratched his head and said, "Oh, no. It's just that your brother didn't tell you who is stronger between him and Mad God. I think my brother is still the strongest. My brother has been grinding dungeons recently. I believe that when he comes out, he will definitely be stronger than before. I believe in him." Lu Yi said proudly. Li Muhua nodded. Who was stronger between Nameless and Mad God? Anyway, Lu Qin was just casually speculating. But then again, why didn't Lu Qin tell his sister about his other identity? At this point, Mad Demon and Nameless were one and the same. It did not matter even if it was made public. Lu Qin naturally had his own reasons for not mentioning his 2 identities to anyone. Become solipsistic or nameless, you decide. That was what the Wandering Deity NPC said to Lu Qin. As Lu Qin delved deeper into the game, he gradually understood this sentence. Now, no one thought that Jiutian was a simple game anymore. Perhaps the answer would be revealed as they explored more heavenly regions. Regardless, Lu Qin did not plan to reveal his identity for now. There were screams from the heavenly regions players. What kind of damage is this? Is he crazy? Fuck, I can't get close to him. I'll be at critical health in a few seconds. He's using his bow when he doesn't get close. We don't dare to use our high-level skills. How can we fight him? His health is 4 million. How is this possible? It's so hard to hit him, and he even activates a super large area of effect taunt. His health is so fast. We can't hit him at all. Did you see the damage reflected? I finally got close to him. With one sword, I lost more health than him. Facing a million-strong army, even Lu Chen could not be completely unscathed. However, after being hit, Lu Chen had a 33% chance of activating passive taunt, which increased his defense by 100% and his health recovery by a large margin. The health that was hard to reduce could be recovered by a lot with passive taunt. In addition, Lu Chen could also use the health recovery skill Rejuvenation, which could recover 50% of his health at once. Not only is his attack high, but he also has high defense and health. Not only that, he also has passive health recovery. Not only that, he also has active health recovery. Fuck, I'm not going to fight anymore. What kind of archer is this? Have you ever seen an archer chasing after you? After a full hour, hundreds of thousands of the Heavenly Regions players had been slaughtered. Spiritual Energy Storm. Lu Chen activated the Mud Orb skill, and his pure spiritual energy was restored to full. The group of people completely collapsed. My heart is dead. Too scary, he's really a demon. We can't win. My weapon is already gone. I don't want to fight anymore. This kind of monster is not something we can deal with. Why does this kind of guy exist in the Heavenly Regions? This is simply unreasonable, it's simply unfair. After another wave of killing, Lu Chen used Spiritual Energy Storm again. This time, the players were completely speechless. This guy can't be killed, so many strong players have died, we can't do anything anymore. I want to go back to the novice village now. 6 million bounty. This fucking double is not too much. After 3 hours of slaughter, 60% to 70% of the Heavenly Regions players had fallen, and the remaining people had been frightened by Lu Chen's strength, hiding at the side and not daring to attack again. Lu Chen did not kill them all, he finally stopped and stood at the side to rest, waiting for the others to resurrect. Not long after, Lei Yin and the others finally decided to resurrect. When they saw Solipsistic, everyone no longer had any thoughts of fighting. This guy's strength was already above the million-strong army. Resurrected? Lu Chen said indifferently, good, then let's discuss the compensation. Lei Yin looked at Lu Chen in horror. Solipsistic, why are you so strong? Logically speaking, you should have already cleared the Heavenly Domain boss. Lu Chen shook his head, what's the rush to clear the Heavenly Domain boss? None of you can leave, I said, before you paid 100 billion, but from the moment I made my move, you have to pay 200 billion. 200 billion. According to the calculation of the 2 million players, each player had to pay 100,000 gold. What? You're still not satisfied? Lu Chen was somewhat impatient. Solipsistic, we can't take out that much money. Lei Yin finally spoke the truth. 100,000 gold per person. Even in the previous difficulty of the game, there were very few people who could take out that much, not to mention now. Chapter 358. Solipsistic, we really don't have that much money. The other players also pleaded. If we had that much money, we wouldn't have come here to rob the players from Earth Village. Yeah, we admit that we can't beat you, but even if we sell all our equipment, we won't be able to take out that much money. You opened hard mode, and our consumption has increased by several times. We've been unable to make ends meet for a long time, Lu Chen frowned. So you're not willing to abide by my words? Mad Demon, we won't target other Earth players in the future, but we really don't have that much money. These people had already given up resisting, but the problem was that even if they admitted defeat, they couldn't take out the money. Lu Chen thought for a while. Forget it, you're not the one robbing me. Explain it to the Earth players yourselves. Lu Chen asked the Earth players to send a representative to discuss the compensation with the other party. Of course, he didn't leave and personally supervised the scene. We can't take out such a large amount of compensation. Now that the difficulty of the second heaven has increased by 2 levels, most people don't even have enough money to buy medicine. The Great Wall of Iron and Blood was also dumbfounded. Were the players in the second heaven so pitiful? Cough cough, didn't you say that you're strong enough to defeat the heaven domain boss for several months? How can you not have money? The speaker was no longer Lei Yin, but a man in his 40s. He sighed. Actually, it's not what you think. The income from the second heaven is indeed good, but the cost is also high. The cost of learning high-level skills is very high, and we still have to repair our equipment and buy medicine. Originally, we could still make ends meet, and we barely had some left. You should have seen the wild monsters in the second heaven, right? Their attack doesn't lose to the boss of the first heaven. Under normal circumstances, we can kill them. But Mad Demon, The man was halfway through his sentence when he suddenly looked at Lu Chen with trepidation. His resentment instantly dissipated, and he quickly changed his attitude. Ahem, but the game's difficulty is much higher than before. The monsters' stats have quadrupled, and their attack, defense, and blood spirits have all been boosted. On the other hand, the players' stats have been reduced by 22.5%. Not only has their damage been reduced, but their healing has also been reduced. Just do the math. Even the Radiant Moon werewolves outside are having a hard time fighting. They have to use a large number of pills every time they attack, and the prices here are high. Another representative, a female player, sighed. Actually, the people who came to crusade against the mad demons are the ones who have been affected the most. Our strength is at level 2, and we are not the top existences. The real experts wouldn't even bother to come here. The Great Wall of Iron and Blood exchanged glances with the other representatives. You guys aren't the strongest at level 2. Of course not. The compensation proposed by Lei Yin may seem scary, 100 billion, but on average, it's only 300 gold coins per person. But you want us to pay 200 billion instead. We only have 2 million people. This is really not enough. The Great Wall of Iron and Blood suddenly understood why this group of people hated Solipsistic so much. He had single-handedly changed the fate of all the players, causing them to fall below the poverty line from having enough to eat and wear. Speaking of which, this group of Earth players had to face such a terrifying world as soon as they arrived. A few people faintly looked at Lu Chen, who was looking at the sky. The level 2 players suddenly started to act pitiful, but looking at the situation, it seemed that what they said was the truth. They were willing to admit defeat, but what if they couldn't afford it? The Great Wall of Iron and Blood looked at his companions, then looked at Lu Chen. Mad God, and everyone else, I have a suggestion. What do you think? You can't afford the compensation, but you can't not pay anything. So, I have 3 conditions. Lu Chen said indifferently, you're the representative now. You don't have to ask for my opinion. The level 2 players also said seriously, okay, tell us first. With Lu Chen around, the Great Wall of Iron and Blood started to feel more confident. First, you can't target Earth players in the future. We can ignore normal PK and robbing, but actions like today's will definitely not happen. Second, you have to return all the equipment, gold coins, and materials that you've obtained from us. Third, you have to carry us for a month. The Great Wall of Iron and Blood said, you can divide your people into 200 teams. During this month, you have to follow our arrangements. We will distribute you to each country, and you will then lead us to fight the Radiant Moon werewolves. We can share the experience, but the equipment and materials will belong to us. Although our combat power is a little low, we have a lot of people. We can arrange enough pharmacists for you. This way, you won't have to keep buying pills. The Great Wall of Iron and Blood looked at his companions, and the representatives all nodded. They had no objections to his suggestion. On the other hand, the defeated party didn't have much say in the first place. Moreover, among the conditions that the Great Wall of Iron and Blood had proposed, the first 2 were like no punishment. The third one could actually achieve a win-win situation to a certain extent. Great Wall, you're too good to them. Lu Qin couldn't stand it anymore. 200 billion. Would working for a month be enough to pay it back? Moreover, they could still share the experience. The Great Wall of Iron and Blood explained, Mad God, actually, it's not easy for them. Now that the game's difficulty has increased, everyone's life isn't easy. There's no need to force them to their deaths. When the level 2 players heard Mad God's tone, they obviously felt that the punishment wasn't severe enough. They quickly added, yes, yes. Everyone's life isn't easy. In the future, we definitely won't find trouble with you. This month, we'll definitely do our best to carry you. Lu Qin pursed his lips. You guys agreed quite quickly. Forget it. Since both sides feel that there's no problem, I won't interfere. However, I'll say the ugly words first. If anyone slacks off, don't blame me for being rude. We wouldn't dare. Actually, this punishment. No, to be precise, it should be cooperation. It's beneficial for both sides. We also want to level up quickly. Mad God, forget it. They're really quite pitiful, a Guild Alliance representative said. Yes, I heard about their experiences. I also feel quite pitiful. Lu Qin looked depressed. This group of people actually joined forces to plead for mercy for the other party. Their experiences had already made the enemy feel pity for them. It seemed that they were really quite pitiful. Got it. Lu Qin stood up. Then you guys discuss the details. I'll go find a few friends. After saying that, Lu Qin directly walked to the back of the human formation. With so many people, it was obviously not easy to find someone. Lu Qin directly shouted in a loud voice. Winchim, come find me. I'll take you to level up. Oh right, Mad Waves people, come over too. Nameless asked me to take you guys to level up. In front of billions of people, they were called out by Mad God. This honor made the 3 billion Earth players green with envy. Even the 2 million level 2 players on the opposite side revealed looks of envy and jealousy. Damn, that guy is personally taking you to level up. What the fuck? Sigh, some people have already won at the starting line. Why don't I have such a friend? I'm so envious. If only Mad God could take me along. I just want to ask, does Mad Waves still need people? Chapter 359. Standing beside Solipsistic, Winchim blushed all the way to her neck. She did not expect this guy to call her out in front of all the players in the galaxy. Mad God. Winchim greeted Lu Qin shyly. Lu Qin smiled. Although his smile was still a little scary, at least it wasn't that kind of crazy and bloodthirsty smile. I still have to thank you for helping me buy the skill book. When the people from Wild Waves come, I'll take you to level up. Winchim was a little disappointed. Was he only bringing her because she bought the skill book for him? Was there nothing else? Of course, it was not convenient for her to ask this question. Not long after, Lengnua rushed over with a group of people. Wild Waves now had 2,500 people. Even Mad Demon could not bring everyone. He could only pick the best first and then let them bring the rest. After seeing Mad Demon, they were still a little nervous. After all, Lu Chen's current appearance was a little scary. Mad God, hello. May I ask where our guild leader is? Lengnua asked. We haven't seen him in a long time. Oh, him. He came to the second heaven with me. He's been busy these 2 days, so he asked me to take care of you guys. Back then, only Lu Chen could see the heaven domain opening rune. The others did not know that only the team that defeated the heaven domain boss could enter the second heaven in advance. Anyway, he could say whatever he wanted. So the guild leader came to the second heaven a long time ago. He still misses us. Of course, when has the guild leader not cared about us? Mad God, if you meet the guild leader, please let him know. Everyone misses him. Lu Qin nodded. Okay, I'll let him know. Now that everyone was here, Lu Qin summoned Nine-Winged. Nine-Winged, let them take a ride. Other than Lu Qin, Nine-Winged never liked others riding on him. Lu Qin had to discuss with this guy, Roar. Nine-Winged knew this group of people, so he reluctantly gave them a ride. Nine-Winged Sky Dragon soared into the sky. The group felt like they were on a roller coaster. Screams came from behind Nine-Winged. Not long after, Nine-Winged finally calmed down. As for the identity of the mad demon, this group of people was more or less afraid. A demon with a gold ID should not be easy to get along with. Ahem. Lu Qin was the first to speak. These guys were all his old friends. He also wanted to chat with them. When we farm later, stand next to me. Don't run around. Oh, okay. Lu Qin was speechless. Why were these guys so afraid of him? Well, only humor could resolve the current awkwardness. I'll leave whoever runs around in the werewolf camp and let them go home on their own. Mad God, we'll remember that we won't run around. Everyone gulped and said, Mad God, we won't run around. Lu Qin was speechless. If he were to say this as nameless, they would definitely start teasing him. But now. Sigh, forget it. I'll just fly over quietly. After a moment of silence, Ning Shuang suddenly plucked up her courage and asked Lu Qin, Mr. Mad God, is my master doing well? I haven't seen him in a long time. Speaking of which, a month was not too long. However, in Ning Shuang's heart, time seemed to pass very slowly. I'm much stronger than before. This time, I'm 2 rounds away from entering the list of 120 people. I want to tell my master this news. Winchim was also surprised. Wow, the list of 120 people. That's the strongest 120 people in the world. Very strong. Ning Shuang was a little embarrassed. I'm still far from my master. I just hope that he won't think that his disciple is weaker than others. Lu Qin was a little surprised. As a non-professional player, Ning Shuang's improvement was definitely huge. This disciple of his had always been very hardworking. Lu Qin nodded and said, well, that's very good. Continue to work hard. Your master will be happy for you. Then, Lu Qin looked at Winchim. Winchim, Second Heaven needs a stable team. If you're willing, join Mad Waves. Winchim was stunned. Join Mad Waves? But they already have an official live stream. It's okay. You can do an official live stream or do it yourself. Actually, with Mad Wave's current scale, it won't be a problem to host a few official live streams at the same time. Noa, what do you think? Lu Qin called Leng Noa, causing Leng Noa to be stunned for a while. Mad God actually called her that. Were they close? Fortunately, Leng Noa reacted quickly. Sister Winchim, Mad God is right. We're planning to develop more official live streams. If you're willing to join us, of course we'd be more than happy to. Of course, if you want to continue doing your own live stream, it's not a problem. We all know how popular you are. Letting the fans see that even the most popular streamer has joined Mad Waves is actually a kind of promotion. Winchim had actually received many invitations from guilds. Monolith, Thunderclap, Friendship, and so on had expressed their interest to her. After all, she was the most popular girl on Jiutian's official website and had a large number of fans. For Winchim, after reaching Second Heaven, it was indeed necessary to find a strong and stable guild. And Mad Waves was definitely the best choice. If you don't mind, I'm willing to join Mad Waves. Leng Noa, Lu Yi, and Ning Shuang pulled Winchim intimately. That's great. I'll send out an invitation now. 20 minutes later, Lu Chen brought everyone to the Radiant Moon Werewolves base camp. When they saw the hundreds of Radiant Moon Werewolves below, their faces turned pale. So many Radiant Moon Werewolves. And their levels are higher than those at the entrance of the village. The ones here are all level 5 to 55. Are we going to level up here? The Nine-Winged Frost's flight path answered their questions. After circling in the air for a while, it landed at the entrance of the base camp. Lu Chen did a head count. Lu Yi, Wen Qim, Leng Nua, Ning Shuang, 10 Steps, Floral Fragrance, Little Mei, Chic Handsome, Stardust, Gaming Black Hole, the 3 Adonis brothers, Little Ming, and the leaders of Mad Waves. There were a total of 41 people. Stand around me. Oh, Wen Qim, Little Ming, since you're live streaming now, there should be a lot of people watching. Lu Chen suddenly thought of this. The more people watching, the higher their income would be. Can we start it? The two were surprised. Lu Chen said nonchalantly. It doesn't matter. Since Mad God didn't care, Wen Qim and Little Ming hurriedly started the live stream. Livestream Mad Demon is leveling up. With this question alone, the number of viewers in the 2 livestream rooms soared quickly. Wow, livestream Mad Demon is leading people. I've never seen Mad Demon leading people before. That's great. We can finally see how Mad Demon levels up. This is a historical mystery of Jiutian. The last time Brother Nameless led people, damn, 20 minutes was worth a few million experience points. I wonder how Mad Demon's leveling speed is. Chapter 360. Everyone was looking forward to Mad Demon's wild farming. However, Lu Chen summoned his clone and lured the monsters away. After leading the group into the werewolf's base camp, they found an open space and lay down. I've been too tired from farming dungeons for the past 2 days. I'll take a nap. Huh? The group was surprised. Mad God, I don't think we can farm here. Lu Chen froze for a moment, then realized that he didn't make it clear. Oh, I'll farm the monsters. You guys can rest here. But you just said you wanted to sleep, I'll let my pet release the skills for me. It's not difficult. She'll do it. Lu Chen looked at everyone's blank faces. Pet? How could there be a pet here? Lu Chen smiled and shook his head. Xiao Min, come out and say hello to everyone. As soon as he said that, a little ghost suddenly appeared in front of everyone. Hello, I'm Boss's ghost pet, Xiao Min. Stardust and the others widened their eyes. Ghost pet, Lu Yi looked at Xiao Min in surprise. Although Xiao Min was in ghost form, the little girl still looked very cute, like a little loli. What a beautiful little girl. Thank you. Sister is also very beautiful. Ha, you're so good with words. Mad God, where else can we find such a ghost pet? Lu Chen glared at his sister. The little girl looked silly. Of course not. She's the only one in the entire server. The smile on Lu Yi's face suddenly froze. Thinking about it, how could a guy like Mad God have a bad pet? She was the only one in the entire server. Yes, I got it when I was at level 1. Usually, she attaches herself to me, so you guys can't see her. She'll release simple skills for me. You guys just stay by my side. Xiao Min, clone, use spiritual energy burst when it's cool down. If you don't have enough spiritual energy, eat a turned mixed energy pill. I'm going to sleep for a while. Okay, boss. Xiao Min obediently returned to Lu Chen's body. The doppelganger pulled the aggro while the heavenly flame pillar and black coffin dead zone cleared the monsters. After strengthening his skills, the heavenly flame pillar and black coffin dead zone dealt off the charts. With his doppelganger protecting him, the radiant moon werewolves couldn't even get close to him. The rest was left to Xiao Min. Lu Chen lay down to sleep. Lu Chen was indeed tired. He had been grinding the door of life and death for several consecutive days. He had been grinding for more than 10 hours a day. Most importantly, it was very boring. This made it easy for him to feel sleepy. Before long, Lu Chen fell asleep. Leng Noa and the others looked around. A large number of radiant moon werewolves were charging over furiously, but they were already suffering continuous damage from afar. At a radius of about 200 meters, a circle of heavenly flame pillars connected together like a wall of light. As long as the werewolves came into contact with this wall of light, they would be stunned and burned. Almost no one could enter this area. His clones were helping to pull the werewolves that had escaped from the corners, while others were taking care of the werewolves that had made it through the heavenly flame pillar. Heavens, these werewolves are unbeatable super bosses to us, but Mad God is farming them like this? Stardust shook his head and sighed. That's ridiculous. Is this how Mad God usually levels up? I know it's wrong of me to feel this way, but I really want to say. I'm so envious. He's leveling up while lying down and sleeping. What the hell is this? The fans watching the live stream were also in an uproar. Damn, my worldview has been shattered. We have to die just to kill a werewolf, but Mad God is sleeping and leveling up at the same time. I finally know why Mad God is so strong. His leveling speed alone isn't something a human can achieve. Mad God has been here for a month. At this rate, won't he be maxed out? Don't be naive. There's a level limit to leveling up. Besides, he has to farm for equipment. Otherwise, what's the point of leveling up alone? You've seen Mad God's dazzling gold bow. That's the power of a legendary weapon. Brothers, I imagined myself as Mad God just now. It felt so good. You guys should give it a try too. Leveling up while sleeping. Wow, it's so good. Don't think about those unrealistic things. It's better to imagine yourself as Mad Waves members. They're having a great time too. Mad Waves members, who were leveling up with Lu Chen, did not need to do anything. They were shocked speechless as they watched their experience bars increase rapidly. 54 minutes later, the group suddenly emitted a golden light. Pillars of light rose from their feet. The eyes of the people watching the live stream almost popped out of their sockets. Damn, they've reached level 51 in just half an hour. I can't be any more jealous. This is the difference between people. I don't expect to be Mad God. Please give me a friend like Mad God. From level 50 to level 51, they only needed 200 million experience points. With 41 people, that was 2 billion experience points. Leng Noa and the others looked at the sleeping Mad God and suddenly realized something. Oh, please don't let him wake up. The sooner he wakes up, the less we'll level up. Yes, 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 we can't let him wake up. Ladies, sacrifice yourselves. You must serve Mad God well. Brother Jun, what are you talking about? Serve Mad God well? I didn't know you were such a handsome guy. Oh, I'm asking you to, fan Mad God. Also, he must be uncomfortable lying down. Xian, let him sleep on your lap. Nua, Lu Yi, Ning Shuang, Xiao Mei, give Mad God a massage. The more relaxed he is, the deeper he'll sleep. Hey, brother Jun, why don't you do it yourself? Hey, if I were as beautiful as you guys, I'd definitely do it myself. I'm a man. What if Mad God wakes up and sees me touching him? What if he kills me? Everyone thought about it. Mad God was probably straight. Brother Jun was indeed not suitable to do it. 10 Steps also said, Brother Jun is right. Think about it, 1 level in an hour. That's above level 50. If we do it ourselves, we might not be able to level up that much in a month. It'd be a shame to miss this opportunity. Anyway, it's a formal service and we're in a game. Please sacrifice yourselves. Sheik also chimed in, hey, if I were a girl, I'd fall in love with Mad God. Although he's a little hardcore, have you seen Beauty and the Beast? Charming is charming. Ing Jun and the others had a point. After all, it was just a game. The four guilds looked at the sleeping Mad God. He was a terrifying demon. But it had to be said that although he wasn't handsome in the traditional sense, he was very handsome and cool. Alright, for everyone's happiness, let's do it. Xian was a little shy at first. However, at this critical moment, the necessary sacrifice was definitely worth it. She gently placed Lu Chen's head on her lap. The group didn't need to fight monsters anyway, so they immediately got busy. Xuanxuan's legs became Lu Chen's pillow. Leng Nua, Feng Lingzi, Lu Yi, Ning Shuang, and Little Mei fanned and rubbed Lu Chen's legs. All of a sudden, what should have been a tense and intense leveling scene suddenly became an extremely erotic scene. Seeing these goddess-like beauties serving Mad God to sleep, the live stream was filled with jealousy. Okay, I want to become stronger. I must become stronger. Me too, I want to sleep on a beauty's lap. I want to roll on a beauty's lap. Brother, wake up or... Chapter 361. Lu Chen slept soundly. It could be said that he had never slept so well in his entire life. After an unknown amount of time, Lu Chen opened his eyes to find a beautiful face looking at him. Beside her, there was a beauty fanning herself. Could it be that spring had arrived? Ah, how refreshing. Lu Chen smiled. It must be a dream. Otherwise, there was no way something like this would happen. Speaking of which, why was there such a strange guy among these beauties? And why was Lu Yi here too? Whatever, it was about time that girl massaged his legs. Since that was the case, he would sleep a little longer. When Lu Chen woke up for the second time, he found that he was still surrounded by the same beauties. What's going on? That's not right. Wasn't I leading a team to farm? Why am I having this kind of dream? Even if it's just a dream, it should be time to wake up. No, it doesn't seem like a dream. Lu Chen frowned and sat up. What are you doing? The girls quickly shrank to the side. Mad God, you're awake. Lu Chen looked at the time. Oh my God, I slept for 7 or 8 hours. That was a good sleep. We saw that you were really tired, so we wanted you to sleep better. Leng Nua lowered her head, not daring to look at Lu Chen. Really? Seeing Lu Chen's dark green eyes, Leng Nua could no longer pretend. Actually, we wanted you to sleep a little longer. That way, we can level up a few more times. Lu Chen was speechless when he heard this. These guys were really funny. However, Lu Chen didn't say anything about this little trick. Oh, I slept pretty well. It's getting late. If I sleep like this, how am I going to sleep at night? Lu Chen thought about it and decided to force himself to sleep even if he couldn't. He couldn't mess up his biological clock. How about this? I'll carry you for another night. By then, you should be level 57 or 58. The 7 stars chasing the moon dropped by the radiant moon werewolves are pretty useful. It'll be even better when you're level 5. If you get a few of them, you won't have a hard time fighting the radiant moon werewolves in the future. Really? Thank you so much. Lu Chen simply cultivated his spiritual energy on the side. After 10 o'clock, he leaned against a tree and rested. The others were also very bored, so they began to call out the minigame menu and look for people to play cards or chess with. Just like that, an all-nighter passed. Lu Chen only slept for 4 to 5 hours in between, but his mental state was very good. At 8 o'clock in the morning, Lu Chen sent Wild Waves and the others back to Earth Village. This time, he had wasted a day and a half for the Earth players. However, they were all of the same race after all. This little bit of time could not be considered a waste. After the second heaven domain opened, Lu Chen returned to the first heaven domain from the entrance of the Earth Village and went straight to Ren Ai Peak. 10 tigers, 3 idiots, and the others were still grinding dungeons. A large pile of equipment had dropped in the army's warehouse. Fortunately, the warehouse was big enough. Although there were a lot of messy piles, it was still enough. After summoning all his subordinates back, they had all reached level 50. Lu Chen distributed a batch of equipment to them from the equipment they had obtained. Alright, it's time for us to move. Lu Chen opened the army's menu and found the base relocation function. Fuck, all the buildings need to be rebuilt. This is a bit of a trap. Lu Chen had no choice but to let all his subordinates bring along a large pile of equipment from the warehouse, the soul essences and other materials from the personal dungeon, and the spiritual sources. After packing up, Lu Chen looked back at Ren Ai Peak. Who would have thought that this was a bare peak? Goodbye, Ren Ai Peak. After saying that, Lu Chen teleported directly to the Tower of Babel and entered the second heaven. This time, the only thing in the first heaven that was still related to him was Lu Yi's mission. As for the new location of the territory, Lu Chen had already thought about it. The most suitable place for the territory was undoubtedly the Spirit Condensation Mountain Range. It was deserted, had no monsters, and was rich in spiritual energy. He did not know if it would affect the spiritual sources. Lu Chen found an empty area in the mountain and put down the spirit source and the mountain protection array. Then, he released the members of the army. From now on, this will be our new home. Mountain and Erzhan, lead everyone to gather construction materials. We'll build the new territory. Yes, boss. By the way, I'll arrange the location of the personal dungeon. You guys have to prepare the materials for the personal dungeon as well. Understood. After settling the matters, the rest was left to Mountain and Erzhan. This time, they had gathered more materials, so it might take a month to complete. During this time, Lu Chen also planned to take a look at the new map. The Dragon War dungeon has been completed. I don't want to do it a second time in my life. Let's go to the level 70 map. The so-called level 70 map referred to level 70 and above, which was between level 70 and 79. This level was just right for Lu Chen to train. In the north of the Dragon War dungeon, the main road was divided into 3 branches, and each branch had several maps. Following the main road to the north, it led to the Bridge of Helplessness. Further north was the Monster Mountains, Fallen Immortal Plains, and the level 80 main city, which was currently labeled as Ownerless Land. On the east side, it led to the Preparatory Arena, level 70, followed by the Fairy Trail Forest, level 70, and Divine Herbalist Valley. On the west side, it led to the Preparatory Shura Field, level 70, followed by the Monster Forest, level 70, and Heart Refinement Courtyard. Divine Herbalist Valley. Lu Chen thought of the haunted valley that Lu Yi was in. The original name of that place was Divine Herbalist Valley. Perhaps there was news about the spiritual martial herbalist there. But what is the monster forest on the other side? Will it drop purple beast cores? I still need a lot of beast cores. Lu Chen wanted to go to both places, but before going to these 2 places, it seemed like he had to go through the Preparatory Arena and the Preparatory Shura Field first. What's the difference between these 2 places? Lu Chen asked curiously. At this time, a team of 5 people came from the direction of Longzhanye. They just happened to arrive at the road sign. After seeing Lu Chen, they looked at Lu Chen strangely. You are alone. Lu Chen's gaze towards them didn't seem to be particularly friendly, so this question became somewhat interesting. The old players had long said that the second heaven was a world where the strong preyed on the weak. From the experience of the Earth Village, the attitude of the previous Sacred Gate, and so on, they had already seen some clues. Once they reached a higher level, the people here wouldn't be so kind anymore. If one did not want to be robbed, it was best not to act alone. This was a sentence that the old players often said. Although Lu Chen was not afraid of them, it seemed that they only had a few dark gold equipment on them. There was nothing valuable, so Lu Chen was too lazy to make a move. My friend asked me to come over and take a look. When this group of people heard this, they did not have any doubts. After all, one person could not even pass through Long Zhanye. Since the other party also had companions, they had to be cautious. Several people looked at each other and chose not to make a move in the end. Both sides had no intention of making a move, and the atmosphere was much more relaxed. "Friend, which way are you going?" one of them asked. "I'll probably go and take a look, but I want to ask, is there a difference between the preparation arena and the preparation shuraba?" "You don't even know this?" A middle-aged man said. "In the arena, including the NPCs, each team selects 100 of the strongest individual players. Using the elimination method, the teams represented by the top 10 will be qualified to enter the Fairy Trail Forest. The shuraba is even more cruel. 100 NPCs, the strongest individual players, and even the boss will fight in the same field. The last 10 people to survive can enter the Monster Beast Forest. It is said that the drops there are very high." "Oh. So that's how it is." Lu Chen nodded. "Thank you very much. I'll go and take a look first. Goodbye." After that, Lu Chen casually chose the east side road and walked. Until Lu Chen left, a trace of ridicule appeared on the faces of those few people. "Hey, old fox, it's not good for you to trick a newcomer like this. The arena and the shuraba are not places for people to go. That's right, full pain is required. Moreover, it's not like the top 10 can enter the later maps. You have to be first. The NPCs there are much stronger than the players. They are not on the same level at all. There are also the boss monsters. In the past, no one has been able to clear it, let alone in the hard mode. Going there is suicide." The middle-aged man smiled. "Anyway, we're not going. Isn't it good to let them suffer a little? Let's go to the Monster Mountains." Chapter 362. This group of people didn't know that Lu Chen was only pretending to leave. After he left their line of sight, he turned his head and let Xiao Min make him invisible before coming back. Playing mind games? Lu Chen was not afraid of anyone. How could he believe the words of such a person? After hearing the truth, Lu Chen snorted coldly. He went up and used 3,000 instant slashes, and killed 5 people instantly. These people were pitiful. They were killed instantly before they could figure out what was going on. After looting the corpses of the 5 people, the rewards were not bad. There was an additional dark gold bracer and 2 pieces of orange equipment. Lu Chen did not hesitate to put them in his backpack. "You tricked me. I'm sorry, you're not qualified." After killing the 5 people, Lu Chen went back to the east side road. "If I could enter by being in the top 10, I wouldn't mind. But if only the first place is qualified to enter the later maps, then it's a little tricky." After walking for more than 10 minutes, Lu Chen found a huge arena in front of him. The arena was divided into 9 smaller arenas. At the same time, Lu Chen received a system message. "You have entered the preparatory arena. The system has activated the full pain system for you. The competition will begin in 18 minutes. Only the first-place player in the preparatory arena is qualified to enter the Fairy Trail Forest and Divine Herbalist Valley." Lu Chen checked his status. At this time, his full pain system has been forcibly turned on. It feels like an upgraded version of the first Heaven Ancient battlefield. Alright, let's see how strong this so-called preparatory arena is. During the 18 minutes of preparation, Lu Chen noticed that there were no other players around. "I'm the only one. Don't tell me the others are all NPCs or wild bosses?" Lu Chen asked in surprise. After 18 minutes, the preparation time was finally over. Lu Chen was also notified to officially enter the preparatory arena. That's strange. Where are the others? Why am I the only one? Lu Chen frowned. According to Jiutian's standards, they should have been very precise. Why did they not arrange any other matches this time? Why was he the only one competing? I don't think it's as detailed as the Twilight of the Gods instance dungeon. Back then, there were many NPCs watching us. Forget it. Let's wait for the final result. The system is randomly selecting your first opponent. Your first opponent has been assigned. At the same time, the first match will be randomly selected. The venue will be the opponent's server. Quantum teleportation is in progress. Please wait patiently and do not leave the arena. Lu Chen was puzzled. What was the meaning of this? Were there home and away games in this game? In the past, when he fought in the ancient battlefield, it was always others who were sent to Earth's server. This time, he was going to be sent to the opponent's server. But, weren't they already in the galactic server? There was a higher level server above the galactic server. Quantum teleportation is ready. Begin teleportation. During this period, we will upgrade the real-time translation system for you. Before Lu Chen could figure it out, he suddenly felt his vision go black. After a few seconds of dizziness, when he opened his eyes again, he was surrounded by players. Fuck, what's going on? Lu Chen was shocked. In front of him stood a human player. He was about 23 or 24 years old. Not only was he not handsome, but from Lu Chen's point of view, this guy actually looked a little weird. He was about 2 meters tall, but his body was very well proportioned. His eyes were very big, so big that they were a little scary. He had a flat nose and a wide mouth. His long black hair was very elegant. This guy. Lu Chen wanted to complain about his appearance, but when he saw the people below the arena, he was stunned. They all looked similar to this person. On the other hand, he looked a little weird among the group of weirdos. Before Lu Chen could complain, the audience below began to mock him loudly. Wow, that guy is so ugly. Are you sure he's a human? You haven't seen the arena, right? The range of humans is huge. There are many people who look different from us. This guy is only considered good-looking. I really want to participate in the arena. It must be interesting to compete with other humans. You can go anytime you want. Newbies have to go to the arena to train. This is our server's tradition. Lu Chen was speechless. In the eyes of these people, he had become this guy. Speaking of which, the person he was going to fight was a newbie. Lu Chen sized up his opponent. This player was different from the players Lu Chen had seen before. He was now wearing a full set of dark gold equipment, and there were a few spots on his body that were shining. Dazzling equipment? Lu Chen's eyes widened. No way, this guy is so strong. He has at least 3 dazzling pieces of equipment. At this time, a translucent message box appeared in the center of the arena. Information of the 2 combatants. Human Galaxy Server District 19, Level 75 Player, Solipsistic. This server's game difficulty is currently hard. Human Galaxy Server District 44, Level 79 Player, Sunset Stars. This server's game difficulty is currently hell. Pfft, Lu Chen almost vomited blood. What the fuck, this is hell mode. Hell mode was one thing, but there were so many people here. One had to know that in the second heaven where Lu Chen was, the players were all stuck in the novice village. There were not many people in Longzhanya, let alone in a level 70 map. But there was a sea of people here. Lu Chen was shocked by the opponent's strength, but the opponent seemed to be very dissatisfied with Lu Chen's strength. No way, it's only hard mode. Sigh, my debut has suddenly become unattractive. The audience below was also disdainful. So it's a hard mode novice server. Looks like we can only watch Sunset destroy noobs. Sunset, I'll give you 1 minute to enter the next round. There's nothing to see in this round. Damn, I just realized that this guy is wearing a few pieces of orange equipment. That's too embarrassing. Does he have any dazzling gold? Sigh, I think the battle will end in at most 10 seconds. Lu Qin sucked in a breath of cold air. Wearing orange here is a shameful thing. Are you kidding me? According to the server's difficulty and player's level, the odds for both sides have been set. Solipsistic, odds 1. 6, Sunset Stars, odds, 1, 1, are you kidding me? That guy's odds are only 1. 6, I think it should be more than 2. No way, Sunset's odds are 1. 1. 100 gold coins for 10 gold coins, and Sunset still has to take half of it. That's only 5 gold coins. That's too little. The system is smart. It knows that Sunset will definitely win. Of course, it won't set too high odds. Sigh, I don't care. It's still money. It's a waste not to earn it. The betting time began, and the bets of both sides quickly changed on the screen. 5 minutes later, the betting time ended. Solipsistic, 4.07 million gold coins bet, 102 people bet. Sunset Stars, 5.70 million gold coins bet, 6,418 people bet. Both sides had similar amounts, but the difference in the number of people betting was 60 times. There was only one reason why Solipsistic had bet so much. Lu Chen was going all in. Lu Chen's eyes were shining. Damn, the chance to make money is here. Chapter 363. The betting ended, and the match entered the countdown. Hey, ugly thing, you didn't bet all your belongings on yourself to win, did you? Setting Sun and Stars looked down at Lu Chen condescendingly. You really don't have a brain. Sigh, some people just like to be blindly confident. Very well, keep your money. You know what? I like the setting of full pain the most. Only in this way can you lowly humans learn from your mistakes. In front of us, you are just slightly stronger than livestock. Lu Chen frowned slightly. Sure enough, there was a disadvantage to being called ugly. Lu Chen had a feeling of being unable to defend himself. Speaking of which, the aliens in the second heaven didn't have much of a feeling. Everyone actually looked the same. On the contrary, here, it really felt like he was fighting against aliens. You are superior humans? Lu Chen sneered. I can't see how superior you are. How dare you talk to me like that? I will let you taste the pain later. The match entered the countdown. 3, 2, 1, start. The moment the match began, Sunset Stars moved. Earth-level movement skill, instant shadow. In an instant, Sunset's figure disappeared from Lu Chen's sight. Damn, this guy used an Earth-level movement skill right off the bat. This was something Lu Chen had never seen before. At this moment, Lu Chen already knew that the opponent here would be the strongest he had ever faced. It was very likely that he would no longer have the qualifications to hold back his strength. One had to know that this was only the first match of the arena. However, the more difficult the situation was, the more excited Lu Chen felt. Very good, the opponent was very strong. However, he liked it. Lu Chen's eyes revealed a long-lost excitement. Compared to being invincible, he preferred to meet a strong opponent. Only then could he become stronger. Spear King, Army Destroyer. Sunset instantly closed in. The long spear in his hand rapidly shot out dozens of times. Because the spear was too fast, the long spear had already formed an afterimage. It was difficult to distinguish the real from the fake. Dark Eye of the Gods, in the face of such an attack, became useless. Even if you knew where the opponent's attack was, it was useless if you couldn't avoid it. 7 stars chasing the moon. Lu Chen quickly activated his skill and pulled back. At the same time, he used 7 stars chasing the moon's invincibility to dodge the attack for a fraction of a second. Lightless Sky Flame Pillar, Black Coffin Dead Zone. While retreating, Lu Chen simultaneously activated his skills. You still dare to use your skill? Do you think you can run away? In front of Lu Chen, your 7 stars chasing the moon is a joke. Setting Sun chased after Lu Chen and was about to catch up to him in the blink of an eye. Flickering Shadow, Robbery. Even Lu Chen hadn't thought that his opponent would be able to catch up to him so quickly. Moreover, in the period of time when he was invincible, his opponent had managed to stab his spear horizontally and hit him in the right shoulder. Minus 220,000. 20,000, bleeding. Debuff, bleed. Loses 0.5% of max health every second for 20 seconds. Debuff, movement speed reduced by 30%. Seeing that his opponent was about to follow up with another attack, Lu Chen gritted his teeth and moved quickly. Quick move. Tiger's Roar, Great Ravager Sweep. This time, Lu Chen turned around and unleashed a few sword auras, finally stopping his opponent from continuing to chase after him. After getting a chance to catch his breath, Lu Chen was shocked. In just one exchange, he had been suppressed to the point that he couldn't breathe. This was something that had never happened in any of his previous battles. Damn it, so fast. His movement skill level is higher than mine, and it's very effective. He can easily dodge Heavenly Flame Pillar, and he even has a special attack that can ignore the invincible period of 7 stars chasing the moon. Lu Chen calmly analyzed his opponent's skills. After Setting Sun stars was blocked by Lu Chen, he simply stood there and looked at Lu Chen with interest. That's it? You dare to bet on your own victory with your 5-card stud? You lowly humans don't seem to have any intelligence at all. It's embarrassing to be of the same race as you. The audience below cheered. Heavenly Flame Pillar. It can't be, he still has this kind of trash skills. His skills are too trashy. As expected, it's a one-sided suppression by Setting Sunday. I reckon he won't even be able to touch Setting Sun. Lu Chen turned a deaf ear to the discussions around him. He took a deep breath and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly, and the excitement in his eyes grew stronger. It was as if he had returned to the past, when he wasn't very strong yet, and would often encounter life and death battles. Laughing? I think you don't know what's good for you. Setting Sun coldly snorted. This time, I'll take your life. Instant shadows, unlimited suppression. Setting Sun's figure suddenly disappeared, and the next moment, he appeared in front of Lu Chen, smashing his spear at him. Go to hell. Heavenly Peak Suppression. Lu Chen hurriedly dodged, but just as he landed, his opponent followed him like a shadow and smashed his spear at him again. Lu Chen dodged again, but the other side was faster than him and shot him. Lu Chen was actually already in the reverse moon chase state, and the cooldown of his movement skills was extremely short. He dodged again and again, but no matter how he dodged, his opponent could immediately find him and attack him. This is so fucking annoying. This was unlimited suppression. In terms of movement skills, it suppressed any skills and special effects that were lower than his own quality. Kid, you have quite a lot of movement skills. Unfortunately, you can't escape my 5-finger mountain. Annoying? Sorry, I'm not just annoying, I want your life. Spear King, General Stab. A virtual image of an ancient general appeared behind Setting Sun, holding a giant spear like him, and stabbed it at Lu Chen. With a boom, Lu Chen was hit again. Minus 440,000. Debuff, knocked away. The character is knocked away and loses control of the body, unable to move or use skills. Seeing this status, Lu Chen screamed in his heart. Experts knew that knocked away was an extremely terrifying special effect, because it was too easy to follow up with a combo. Sure enough, an expert like Setting Sun would not let go of such an opportunity. Setting Sun's figure appeared in front of Lu Chen again. "Kid, you're finished." Spear King, Ice Cloud Spear. The spear in his hand suddenly emitted a burst of ice fog, and the entire tip of the spear even condensed into frost. With dozens of consecutive shots, Setting Sun directly hit Lu Chen, who was knocked away. -83,000, -82,000. The first two shots were already off the charts. At the same time, Lu Chen was hit by the debuff, Frozen. His body was frozen for 2 seconds. One had to know that the Flowing Cloud Ice Dragon Spear could deal up to 30 attacks, and that was a total of 2,400,000 damage. In addition to that, there was an additional ultimate skill that could be used after freeze. Originally, victory was already in the bag, but from the third attack onwards, a huge change occurred. 41,443. The Ice Cloud Spear's damage was suddenly halved. But this was not the main point. The main point was that Setting Sun had lost his own HP. -60,000. After being hit several times, Lu Chen's passive skill finally came out. Profound Armor. Profound Armor permanently gains a 40% damage reflection effect. After being hit, there is a 35% chance to taunt the enemy for 5 seconds. During the taunt period, the user's physical defense, magic defense, HP recovery speed, and an additional 160% damage reflection effect. Setting Sun was shocked. "Damn it, why is this guy's damage reflection so high? I can ignore 50% damage reflection, but I was hit by 150% damage reflection. Doesn't that mean his damage reflection is 200%? And now I'm being taunted." Now, Setting Sun could not stop even if he wanted to. After being taunted, the Ice Cloud Spear was interrupted, and now it became a normal attack. During the time when Lu Chen was frozen, Setting Sun consecutively attacked 3 times, dealing another 400,000 damage to Lu Chen. A total of 1 million damage. At the same time, under the damage reflection effect, he lost 700,000 plus HP. From the damage ratio, his damage was higher than Lu Chen's. Damn it! Why is this guy's HP so high? But, without this profound armor, I can still kill him. This skill is too disgusting. But just as Setting Sun was feeling indignant, he suddenly realized that Solipsistic's profound armor status had disappeared. Didn't it last for 5 seconds? Why did it disappear so quickly? The two retreated at the same time. Setting Sun and Stars did not seem to understand why the profound armor disappeared so quickly. Lu Chen gave him the answer. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. The beating he had just received was not light. "You think my profound armor is disgusting, right? Fine. I'll turn off this skill." Lu Chen's eyes were burning with anger that could not be concealed. He took out the Abyss Crystal Bow. Again. "This time, if you touch me, it's my loss." Chapter 364. After debuting for so long, this was the first time Lu Chen was beaten to the ground. If it weren't for profound armor, his first life would have been instantly killed. Although profound armor was also Lu Chen's skill, it should be counted as part of his strength. In addition, Nirvana Rebirth had 2 chances to revive, which meant that Lu Chen had 3 lives. However, he was beaten to the point where he couldn't fight back. Lu Chen was really angry this time. Sunset Stars looked at his opponent coldly. "You're so arrogant. Since you took the initiative to turn off the only skill that made me slightly afraid, then I'm sorry, but you won't have any more chances." As expected, inferior races are too easily swayed. But for me, as long as I can win, I will do whatever it takes. Instant Shadow, Infinite Suppression. War God Possession. Demon Transformation. Demon Clone. After the clone, Lu Chen and the other 5 clones used clones at the same time. There were a total of 18 clones. Clones? I'm sorry, but they are useless to me. It was unknown what method Sunset Stars used, but he still recognized Lu Chen's original body at a glance. In the blink of an eye, he was already in front of him. As long as he killed the original body, it didn't matter how many clones there were. Last time, Lu Chen couldn't deal with infinite suppression, but this time, Lu Chen was calm. Rapid movement. Blink shot. Rapid movement allowed him to move about 50 meters in 0.5 seconds. This skill alone couldn't compete with instant shadow, so Lu Chen used rapid movement and blink shot at the same time. Although it still couldn't achieve the effect of instant shadow, it could increase the number of directional changes while moving at high speed. In the next 0.5 seconds, it was so intense that the audience was dazzled and had difficulty breathing. Solipsistic's figure moved quickly, and in the process, he madly shot out arrows. Sunset Star's instant shadow was not weak either. He could always appear in front of Solipsistic in an instant and attack. Although Lu Chen was still unable to completely shake off the setting sun stars even with the combination of his 2 movement techniques, the setting sun star's attack could not hit him while he was moving at such a high speed. However, Solipsistic's flash attack speed was extremely fast. Coupled with the void-piercing special effect, it also posed a huge threat to Sunset Stars. Amidst the chaotic arrows, the setting sun star's suppression was finally restrained. He no longer dared to recklessly chase after Lu Chen. This arrow doesn't have a trajectory, so there's no way to dodge it. I have to be in shadow flash at all times, or else I might get hit. Sunset Stars thought calmly. However, shadow flash only lasts for 0.5 seconds. Once the time is up, he'll be dead. 0.5 seconds passed in the blink of an eye. Solipsistic was only left with the special effect of flash shot. Although the speed of the arrow was very fast, his body was too slow. You're indeed an arrow at the end of its flight. Do you think you can kill me with this move? Naive. Spear King, Super Armor Assault. Sunset Stars appeared in front of Lu Chen in a flash. At this time, his body was glowing with a golden light. It was obvious that he was not in a good state. Super Armor Assault, Spear King's ultimate move. Super Armor could not reduce the damage of the opponent's skill, but it could prevent the user from receiving any negative effects for 1 second and launch the strongest attack. This guy wants to kill me in an instant. Lu Chen snorted coldly. Shadow Flash. There's more. It's a pity that your body movement is too weak. You can't outrun me. Demon King's Will, refresh. Shadow Flash. Sunset Stars did not expect this guy to be able to refresh skills. These 2 rapid movements had dragged out his tyrant body's offensive state. What's worse was that he had no more Shadow Flash uses left. This guy, he's using the refresh rate so decisively. Sunset Stars looked at his opponent in disbelief. This time, he could no longer use Shadow Flash to suppress his opponent. It was reasonable to say that if an ordinary person had a godly skill like Demon King's Will, they would naturally use all the skills that could be refreshed. This was the smartest way to use it. However, this guy actually refreshed the skill directly for a useless skill like Shadow Flash. He had used up his trump card a long time ago. Solipsistic stood in the distance and temporarily stopped attacking. He looked indifferently at Sunset Stars, whose face was full of astonishment. Is it strange? Any skill that doesn't exist for the sake of victory is worthless. How did you know that my Shadow Flash has a limited number of times? Sunset Stars glared at Lu Chen. Lu Chen smiled slightly. Isn't it simple? What you used just now was the Tyrant Body, which is the strongest move of your main offensive cultivation method. When you used this skill, I knew that you should have used up most of your Shadow Flash. Why? There are only two effects of super armor assault. One is immunity to negative effects, and the other is super high attack power. If it were me, I would have used this skill in a sure hit situation. However, you used it when I could still move freely. You have confidence in your Shadow Flash, but this is obviously not the best time. This time, you forced yourself to use your trump card, which means that you don't have many uses for Shadow Flash. Although my respawn skill is also a trump card, if it can defeat your trump card, it has already fulfilled its value. Sunset Stars widened his eyes. This guy could still maintain a high level of clarity in such a tense battle just now. He grasped every detail and guessed the opponent's mentality. This time, Sunset Stars was really panicking. Solipsistic's analysis was right. He had used up most of his Shadow Flash. Looking at his opponent again, although the level of his movement skill was not high, he had the advantage in numbers. After respawning, Lone Tyrant still had 7 stars chasing the moon, Blink of the Night, Rapid Movement, Reverse Moon Chasing Effect, and Blink Effect. In terms of movement techniques, he had already lost. When fighting against an archer, if you couldn't get close, you would be a live target. Lu Chen's lips curled up. You must be tired after fighting for so long. Alright, it's my turn. Demon Doppelganger. In fact, before Lu Chen respawned, he used a powerful skill. He used Doppelganger. This way, he could use it again after respawning. New Doppelganger after Doppelganger, there were already 33 Solipsistic in the ring. And 11 of them could use Flash Shot. A large number of blurry figures flashed quickly in the ring. Black crystal arrows were shot from all angles. However, with a flash of black light, the arrows were in front of Sunset Stars. With so many arrows without a trajectory, even a god would not be able to block it. Roar. Pure Yang Protection. Sunset Stars used his defensive skill, trying to block these attacks. Wind Shadow Shift. He began to use other movement skills, trying to get close. However, Lu Chen's usage of Reverse Moon Chasing had already reached perfection. In irregular movement, he would spend most of his time in Reverse Moon Chasing. He could use displacement skills all the time, and Sunset couldn't catch up to him with just 1 or 2 displacement skills. Solipsistic's calm voice came from all around. Do you still not understand? From the moment I used up your Shadow Flash, you could no longer catch up to me. I'm sorry, you didn't cherish the chance to kill me. Now you have no chance. Chapter 365. There was no way to dodge the barrage of arrows. Furthermore, he had to dodge the lightless sky flame pillar under his feet. Dusk Stars could not hold on for long. Finally, when his pure Yang defense was depleted, what awaited him was 1,000 arrows piercing his heart. His HP dropped rapidly. Lu Chen did not even use Black Coffin to calculate the final damage. Dusk Star's HP was almost depleted. He only had 1 HP left. This match, District 19 Solipsistic. A large victory sign appeared on the ring. Congratulations on advancing to the next round. You may enter the next round at any time. The lottery system has completed the calculation. You have received a total of 6,400,000 gold coins. It has been sent to your backpack. Lu Chen checked his backpack. 6,400,000 gold coins had been sent to his account. He nodded in satisfaction. It was a small profit. Not bad. When Lu Chen raised his head, he realized that the audience was looking at him in disbelief. Especially Dusk Stars. He could no longer hide the unwillingness, shock, and even humiliation in his eyes. There's no way you can beat me. Your skills are trash. You're from an inferior race. Don't be so smug. I hope you can win a few more matches. Then, you'll be able to see the true strength of our District 44 Galaxy server. He will avenge me and torture you to death. Initiating quantum teleportation program. Not long after, a black portal appeared behind Lu Chen. Lu Chen slowly walked toward the portal. The moment he entered the portal, Lu Chen left a message. Very good. Tell him that he better not disappoint me. After that, Lu Chen disappeared into the portal. It was not until the portal disappeared that the people in District 44 stirred. That guy is so strong. Those skills are not very high level, but when used together, the effect is surprisingly good. He can even avoid the shadow suppression. Where did he get that bow? He's so strong. It's not just the combination of skills. His mind is too meticulous. In fact, I just calculated that the timing of Sunset's super armor was almost perfect. At that time, if he didn't use an even more strange and rapid movement path, Sunset could have hit him. But he decisively used the respawn skill. To be able to deduce the enemy's information from their movements, their analytical ability is indeed formidable. Perhaps, they aren't an inferior race after all. That's not necessarily the case. They only have hard mode, and that guy only has one dazzling gold. He's definitely not a match for the real experts of our server. Sunset Stars let out a long sigh. He didn't expect his first show to be ruined like this. At this moment, he received a private voice transmission. Stardust, you've advanced, right? When he saw his opponent's ID, Stardust was like a deflated balloon. He felt guilty and blamed himself. Master, I was defeated. I'm sorry. I won't be able to meet up with you in the arena. Ah. What? Lost? Your Flash Shadow and Great Spear King have already reached a certain level of proficiency. Which district did you encounter an expert from? Master, No, it's server 19. Hard mode. Hard mode. Wait a moment, I'll come over now. Lu Chen left the preparatory arena. After returning to his entrance, Lu Chen looked at his empty surroundings and shook his head slightly. Look at other people's home ground, and look at mine. This is too miserable. Lu Chen had gained a lot from entering the preparatory arena this time. Other than earning a small profit of 2,400,000 gold coins, Lu Chen's biggest gain was broadening his horizons and encountering a strong opponent. Sunset Stars was very strong. If it wasn't for his dark armor, he might have been able to kill him instantly. So it seems that I'm still not the strongest. Lu Chen frowned slightly. But this is pretty good. It's better than being bored. But then again, it was a server of hell mode, and more than 8,000 people had only bet 5 million gold coins. It felt like they were very poor. Right, I should let the Earth players come over and bet. After a few rounds, they should be able to earn quite a bit of money. This should help them get through the early stages. Thinking of this, Lu Chen summoned Nine-Winged and returned to the Earth village. In these 2 days, the 2 million Second Heaven players had begun to lead the Earth players to farm. The map of the Earth village was very large. On Nine-Winged, Lu Chen saw teams leveling up in various areas. It seemed that the Second Heaven players were keeping their promise. When he arrived at the Earth village's headquarters, a group of representatives from various countries and important figures stood up in shock when they saw the person standing at the entrance. Nameless? It's Hua Xia, Nameless. You're finally here. Lu Chen nodded slightly at them. Where are the Great Wall of Iron and Blood and the Second Heaven players' representatives? I have something to tell you. Someone immediately went to inform the Great Wall of Iron and Blood. Today's Earth village had built a large command room. The Great Wall of Iron and Blood was filled with representatives from various guilds, military representatives, Second Heaven representatives, Lei Yin, the old man Tua Lua Walker, and more than 300 people. Nameless shared his experience in the preparatory arena with everyone. So, you've earned 2,400,000 gold coins in the blink of an eye. Lei Yin did not have any hostility toward Nameless. When she heard Nameless' words, she could not help but be shocked. That's impossible. Tualua Walker was also surprised. I've heard that some people have tried the preparatory arena before, but most of them were not qualified to enter. Only a small number of people have entered, but many of them were eliminated after the battle. There are only a few people whose results we don't know. So you can earn money in the arena. Mr. Nameless, I've heard that you have a close relationship with Mad Demon. Even if you're Mad Demon's friend, I still want to ask, what level are you? Lu Chen thought for a moment and said, 75. This time, not only was Tualua Walker shocked, but the representatives of Earth were also stunned. That's impossible, Mr. Nameless. We're not doubting your strength, but you've only been in the second heaven for a little more than a month. Tualua Walker and the others were knowledgeable. Mr. Nameless, do you have divine might? After having divine might, one's level would be higher. This was no secret to the players of the second heaven. Lu Chen nodded slightly. My level is not important. I'm here to tell you this news. If you believe me, you can give me your gold coins, and I'll help you place your bets. If I win, I won't take any of your money. Just think of it as helping you through your current difficulties. Tualua Walker looked at Lu Chen with a worried expression. Nameless, from the attitude of the players on Earth towards you, we believe that your character is fine. It's not that we don't believe in your strength, but, now we don't have much money left. We can't afford to lose. Nameless, at least show us your strength. This way, we can decide whether to bet all our money on you. Tualua Walker looked at Lu Chen. Lu Chen smiled and threw a token on the table. The representatives of the second layer of heaven were shocked when they saw the token. That token was the token of the City of Freedom's city leader. So you're that guy. Tualua Walker looked at Lu Chen in shock. Then, the 5 representatives of the second heaven region stood up and stood respectfully in front of Lu Chen. We've been disrespectful. The city leader is willing to fight for us. Naturally, we have no reason not to give it our all. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.